this around, right, Chibs? We want the cool side to show. Gotta figure out how to actually hang this. Yes, I could hang it on the wall like probably like it's meant to be hung. I could also just start drawing and painting some characters and make my own canvas. Right, puppy? Because we make our own stuff here. Because Ohana means family. For some I gotta draw that for Kim. Alright. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's happening, Captain? See if anybody's on. I have no messages yet. Fellas gaming night. Knock my chair. Guess that camera's good enough. Yeah, my desk is like about to fall apart. I got another desk. I just need to put some plexiglass on top. So when I cut the apex in, put some plexiglass on top and run some strip lights underneath. Make it all cool and stuff. I forgot to move my mic over. Y'all probably couldn't even hear me. Always get all cray. I don't know why that slides out from the table like that and then turns and stuff. It shouldn't. Should not. Bam. Do that. Do that. So I open up Twitch and the recommended, the top thing, not the very top, it's like the featured streamers, but the next one, recommended live channels. Well, not all of them. 4 out of 6 of them are just chatting girls in their bedroom. Actually, one is they're bar hopping. One of those. There's ASMR. There's girl playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but in like a training bra and athletic shorts. One of the just chatting looks like she's wearing a bra. This is not what Twitch is or should be. There's cam girl sites for that stuff. You know, one is actually doing body paint. I'm gonna actually like some sort of art expression. So, and the bar hopping, I'm not against. They are pretty clothed, but in fact, this chick, pretty sure she was in my recommended yesterday or the day before, and I think she was wearing the same thing. It's like a gray sports bra and some super short athletic shorts. Just chatting is taking over.
My name is Wraith, and we have a job to do.
When they fall, we rise.
Introducing your champion.
Looks like I'm the jump master.
Where to?
This might be a good place to land.
There is a process to everything and also a conclusion. This is yours.
All right, hope you're ready. Let's do this, brothers.
Fix this mic. Try to fix this mic. Alright, here we go.
Contact with hostile.
I am taking fire.
Contact with target.
Oh man, I need a.
Shot at.
Phasing.
One down. We're not all in the ring. Check your position.
His shield just got pulsed. Oh man.
Contact with target.
What were they doing?
Let's go this way. Making contact with enemy. Hostile right here. Contact.
Hostile right. Contact with target.
The All-Father has gifted me.
Really?
Pretty sure someone's got a shot on me.
Hiding behind a rock?
Hostile close. Contact. Hostile right here.
Copy that.
Leader appointed.
So you had all these heals, just wasn't doing anything? What a waste. ridiculous.
Reckless and full of wrecks. Let's go.
Even gunpowder needs a spark.
The important thing is not to die.
This is your champion.
This might be a good place to land. Here we go. Hang tight.
Here we go. We're gonna land in the epicenter. We're gonna get this popping crap. Oh.
Open supply bin over here. That's not trouble. Hey, we got our brother's back. Enemy out.
That's how you do it.
Reloading. We get some good news. We're in the next ring.
Alright, I'll get our teammate back. He's got the worst.
Longbow here.
Another squad is attacking us. Frag out.
And that makes tres. Whole squad down.
Extended heavy mag here. Level 1.
Energy ammo here.
Open. Body shield here. Level 1. Optics
ammo
here.
here.
Mid-range.
Healing. Oh, this is taking too long.
Energy ammo here.
Anybody need energy ammo?
We are not alone. You cover here.
Healing. Say,
Alright.
I spotted an enemy.
say, por favor.
George. Hostile spot.
I'm coming.
Nothing after. I took an enemy down. Pretty good for an electrical engineer, no?
Charging shields. Healing. Too long.
Oh, so I didn't get either of those things. I thought I got the purple bolt, and he got the choke.
I need a hop up. Choke.
Gotta hop up here.
Oh, of course you're not even fucking using it.
Extended heavy mag here. Level 3.
Someone eliminated the champion.
I could use that.
I need shotgun ammo. We're already in
So you don't even need to use a shotgun?
We'll use
What the?
I need shotgun ammo.
Shotgun ammo here. I need an extended
Pretty sure I
heavy mag.
fucking dibs that, bro.
Care package coming in.
Extended heavy mag here. Level
Hostile spotted.
I hear ya.
Dibs.
Yo,
We got some enemies right here.
yo, what's up? What up? What up? What up?
What up?
So glad you're on. I'm in game 2 and I'm over these knuckleheads.
Yeah, I'd have been on sooner. I was screwing around on the computer and they're trying to
Go here.
All good.
partially set up this little emulators and shit for that little retro gaming thing.
Okay. All good.
Give me just a minute, Joe. I'll be right back. I'm starting up Apex. I'm also cooking some pinto beans. Well, kind of some charo beans, but I didn't put pepper in them. But anyway, be right back.
Hey, that was the last one. He just dropped from exhaustion. Ha
What a kid! C'est magnifique!
Spitfire here.
Kid keeps fucking snatching shit.
Light ammo, gonna hop up here.
Fuel cell here.
Yeah, I'm back.
Alright, welcome back.
You having some shitacious
Yeah, I mean
randoms?
these guys actually aren't terrible to like. They don't play terribly, but like this one dude just keeps like snatching everything. Like
Mira, light. Let's go, Ray. Light ammo here. Mira, R301 here.
Peacekeeper here.
Jesus. Jeez Louise.
What if
I
it
don't
is over here?
think we should go that way.
Yes.
Why would you say yes to that?
I spotted an enemy.
Yeah, let's go to where the gunshots are.
Okay.
Forget following this fucking loot goblin who just wants to steal everything.
Freaking loot
Yeah, man,
goblins.
I said I needed. Now this could have been an honest mistake, but I said I needed a choke. Well, because when we killed somebody, I killed them, but he was involved. And we get there to loot, and I got a peacekeeper, so there's a purple bolt and a choke. So I'm like, alright. Oh.
I'm getting shot.
Just spotted someone out there.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll take that. Those two things. Well, he snatched one before I could get to it. And then so I went to get the other one, and then he snatched the other one. It's like, what the fuck? I thought I actually got one until like later when I could pick
Oh,
up a
man.
blue bolt, and I was surprised.
Enemy spotted. Way out.
What a
So then I'm like, all right,
douchebag.
well, I need a choke. So then someone dropped the choke for me, like at the epicenter up top. So I'm like, all right. And then they also dropped the purple heavy mag. So I'm like, all right, well, I dibs the heavy mag. Then I go up there and the heavy mag's gone. The choke's there, but the heavy mag's gone. So I'm like, I need a heavy mag. And then he like dropped it somewhere else. But it's like, you're not even using these things. Why are you fucking taking that? Like,
Yeah, what a this kind of mega dick.
Yeah.
Reload. One down.
Oh, whoa, whoa, new squad, new squad, new squad. Slide, slide, slide.
Reloading.
Oh, man. So, I just died. I'm ready to leave these motherfuckers. I just want to see if... Oh, they're here and they're actually getting...
Yeah, take it.
No, they're not getting my thing. But they came to back me up. The loot goblin's down. Alright, now we're done.
Dude, good shit.
Bow, bow, bow. I'm ready whenever the 0 hour is. Yeah, take your time. I'm just letting you know that I am now waiting on you.
Right. Did Grim say anything
Nah.
about getting on?
No, I just said something in Xbox. I didn't text him or anything. But it sounded like last night, everybody was going to be getting on.
Yeah, he'll probably be on in a few minutes or something. Sometimes it's about 11:30 or something when he gets on, I think.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he doesn't get a better offer from someone else.
Right.
Drive and liquor, there's liquor, there's liquor.
Did you work on your sister-in-law's bookcase there?
No.
I mean, you know, practical sister-in-law's bookcase.
No, I did not. I overslept. Like I slept way too late. I got up at like 11 something. And then
What can I say? I love what I do.
what? Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, so I got up at like 11 something, and then I got out of the room with Opie, and like went to the bathroom, and I guess let him out, and then I let Chibs out.
Then you're like, fuck this bookcase
Well,
all day
and then
long.
like, Chibs was
I'm
like
just
laying in
joking.
bed, so I went and laid down in bed with him, and I fell asleep to like 2 something. So,
Oh yeah, it's easy to do, man, when you're still groggy.
yeah.
Hope you're ready. Let's do this, brothers.
Well, it just had me all fucked up.
And then 9 hours and 20 minutes later, it was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, and then like, now for Chibs, we leave the like the blinds open so the sun can get in there, because he really likes to lay in the sun and be like extra warm. And I don't know if like the way I was laying, the sun was like hitting the back of my eyelids or something, but I look, when I got up and got out of bed, like everything had like a blue tint to it. It was really like real weird, like almost like the sun is setting, kind of, except like even the lights in my house and stuff, like everything just like looked blue and like
Yeah, like, because you'd been looking at
Yeah,
the sun
yeah, I
for
think
too long.
so.
Well, I mean, Oh, I got a blue
very
arm. Oh, you got a blue arm. Okay.
strange. I got a gold triple take, which I'd rather
Yeah.
not have a triple take, but it's gold, so.
I know what you mean, though. Like, when my brother-in-law was up here painting my house, I was looking at the paint job, and I have a propane tank that's painted like a kind of a metallic
Okay.
gray, and the sun was like shining off of it in my peripheral vision. And man, I thought something was fucked up with my eyes, because like I went inside and it had this big dark spot,
Got a shield here.
and it was persistent for, I don't know, an hour or two or something. Like I put on sunglasses, like, because I thought my eyes were fucked or something,
Right.
and I wanted to protect them from further sun exposure. And then like it went away after a little while, and I was like, oh shit, that kind of scared me. It's weird how that shit can affect
Yeah,
you.
it was
you know?
probably like 20 minutes or a half hour that it was like that. It was like that for a while.
Yeah, it can really affect you. Oh, god damn it. Not only did this kid choose the robot, but I threw down the wrong weapon. Damn it.
I don't know. Did he take it? He just said thanks for something.
No, I just threw it down. I'm going back over here to get it. I'm pissed off he took the robot, though.
As you should be. That's your guy. He didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't get
that's
the
my
memo
guy.
that like this guy's the guy. What'd you
Really dope.
What'd you pick up? Oh, you're going double heavy then?
Longbow.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, then I will gladly take that light
Threw
clip.
down a 45 for it.
Shotgun ammo here.
Yeah, you had a light clip, and I'm like, you're forgetting your light clip, bro. And then,
Select fire.
all right, what's
Thanks
the
for looking
plan?
out.
I guess towards the epicenter. That's where.
Yeah.
I
okay,
guess
yeah,
that's where
sounds good
Hunt
to me.
Alone is going.
Yeah, he's literally living up to
Yeah.
his namesake.
What's this,
Is that a drone or a cargo? That's a drone. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Looks like we're in the next ring.
Fat boy's coming.
Alright, blue body shields galore. Oh, next game you want to do the special, the King's Canyon?
Oh, is that what it is?
I love these things.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do want to do that. Oh, that would actually. Yeah, because I was thinking about doing a
Flatline here.
well, I showed you some of the art pieces I did that are like video game related. And
Yeah.
I kind of like that gimmick. One, because I'm like love video games, and two, I just think it would be cool and like people would probably be interested. There's probably a marketplace out there for people who want like video game art. Excuse me. So I was
Sure.
like, yeah, like maybe I could do that. And
R99 here.
ooh, I don't know. Do I get rid of the gold triple take?
Shotgun bolt here.
I don't
Level 3.
know.
You want
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
you want to go
Yeah.
toward the gunfire?
But so like I thought about one thing, and I had this idea before, but I just recently thought about doing it at night. I thought it'd be more interesting. I like the like triple panel things, of like art where it's like
Mid-range.
kind of like a mosaic or what? Not a mosaic, but like it's yeah,
triple
so
panel
it's
thing.
like it's one image over 3 or 4 panels or whatever. I've seen them as many as like 5 or 6 panels.
What are you waiting for? An invitation?
Or the panels are
Yeah,
separated?
so it's like it's one picture, but it's
Yeah, those are
it's
cool.
multiple panels. So like that, and I've also like the like I want to do like paintings of like places. Like I see like the Eiffel Tower or the Brooklyn Bridge all the time. But I thought like to do like well-known places from video games, like the Cage.
Oh
And
yeah,
it'd
it'd be
like
cool.
the Cage, and have it like set up like it would be like an Eiffel Tower painting, but it's the Cage from Kings Canyon and Apex.
Oh yeah, that'd be. That's kind of a neat idea.
So, and I have some black canvases that I've been wanting to use.
Target spotted.
Oh, they're still fighting down here in the smoke.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got him. Hell yeah. One up. One on the next floor up. One on the next floor up.
How'd that feel? Reloading.
Shit.
Oh, they're sniping from a distance. Oh, there's a guy down here. There's a robot down here.
Yeah.
No more, he's not.
Down one.
Made that sniper back the fuck up.
Oh, somebody else is here. I
Where at,
just went
Joe?
up the
Where at?
steps. I'm shielding up.
Oh, she got me too. God damn it. I heard her.
Someone's coming in behind me.
Oh, that fucking bitch. Took all 3 of us out. Motherfucker, dude. That's unbelievable.
Damn, I felt like I did more than
I blame our
99. Yeah,
random.
he did 0 damage. He didn't do anything. How did you not?
Triple take here.
How?
Very little projectile.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah, I thought I did more damage than that. I guess it was you I was shooting that person at the same time with. When we first went in, like towards
So,
when
what'd
we
you
were
just
first
say?
going towards the smoke and there was a person in the street, me and somebody, I thought it was a teammate, shot them at like the same time, and it gave me the kill. But I guess that was you because our teammate didn't do any damage.
Oh yeah, that was me. That was me. I hit him with a longbow, and then you hit him with what you were shooting with. Yeah.
Skill and precision.
That's right. I just wish I had had more of it when the fucking Bangalore was there. I hit her with one burst, and then I fired another burst, and she backed out of the fucking dome shield and back in and out, and it confused me.
Yeah, we just like stood there for a little bit, aiming at each other, waiting for the thing to go down. And then I decided I should reload,
Yeah.
and then I don't know, just didn't work out too well. Clutch as much.
You got yours.
Yeah, I'm streaming. Looks like we got a single viewer.
As am I.
Noise. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
It does.
They say death catches up to everyone. He can certainly try.
Oh shit. Let's try the epicenter.
Alright.
A victory I would be grateful for.
I feel most alive when rapidly approaching my death.
Oh, we forgot to change it to King's
Oh
Canyon.
yeah. Shite.
First blood, good thing it's not us.
Oh, you're caustic now?
Yes, douches keep choosing my
Oh,
robot.
he's not the robot today.
Dude, he literally had him selected the whole time. Did he changed it like the last 1/10 of a second to something else? What a fucking douche. Oh, I got somebody
Shit,
on me. I
okay,
got
I'm
somebody on me
coming,
too.
I'm coming.
Firing on subjects.
I hit this guy once.
I'm coming, fat boy, don't run fast.
Just you and me now, brother.
Our dude just got his shit pushed in. Good shit, Joe. Good shit. You got one more.
Yeah, come pulse me, come pulse me. What? I'm stuck. What? No! I fucking had him. I got stuck on something.
What? You only have three out of 4 bursts in your prowler.
Yeah, I had like 25 bullets or something.
Well, I mean, it bursted 3 times. I thought.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, I
you
got
almost had
stuck.
his
Actually, I
ass.
was trying to
You had
back
the
up and I
other
got
guy.
stuck on something by that crate. God damn it.
You want to change it to Kings
Yeah.
Canyon?
Yeah, Thick Boy Thursday.
Might be kind of neat. The Kings Canyon. Oh, is today
No, it's
Thursday?
Friday, but we're being thick boys.
Oh. Oh yeah, Jim Beans is getting good.
Bam, bam. You can beat a robot. You can beat a robot.
Thank you, thank you.
Have fun. Don't die.
I think I mentioned this the other night, but if it's ever something that interests you, there's a company called 8-Bit Do, or Doe, I don't know, that makes like retro controllers.
Okay.
If you're ever interested in one, I haven't gotten mine. I ordered an SNES when I'll let you know how it is. I mean, you know, it's just a niche thing, but oh shit, dude, I can't remember Kings Canyon. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Let's go for that shit.
The only thing that's lit up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Go. It's a long drop. Fun.
Yeah, man. Good old
I remember
Kings
they talked
Canyon.
about having a night mode
The night mode looks pretty
like
cool.
a while ago. Like people were talking about it on like social media, and I always thought it wouldn't work because like certain people are at a disadvantage, like Lifeline or Gibraltar even, because they have like things that light up.
We got 50 million people landing with us.
Oh my God, there's so
I
many
started blasting
Bangalores.
before I died. I guess everybody be landing here because it's lit up.
I only got like one hit left. I don't want to lose to a Gibraltar shit.
Dude. Our fucking dude with no gun survived longer than us. I was blasting on like the first two people I saw.
I didn't have a gun either. I was just boxing some people.
Oh.
Yeah, I got fucked up.
I held down that Havoc trigger and it like I don't even know what killed me. I must have gotten shot. There were like 3 or 4. I think there were 4 squads there, dude. I don't know. There was a fucking bunch.
There was a lot.
Maybe we should land at a dark
Yeah.
place. That red lighting was kind of cool, though.
Yeah, I was liking it.
They're not gonna know what hit 'em.
Ready to go.
We got this round squared away.
This is your champion.
I just do the job.
We got Quiet Queen on our team. Yes,
Yes, Quiet Queen. Yes, Queen.
Let's touch down here.
Sure, wherever you want to take us, Quiet Queen.
Another good name would be Quiet Queen. Can there be such a thing?
We'll never know because if it's quiet, yeah, they're not gonna tell
Right?
us.
Oh, I forgot about the skeleton.
This Skull Town's gonna be a crazy place.
You saw my skulls.
Yeah, I hear people landing all over. You got a gun?
Just picked up a Prowler.
Okay.
Dude,
Gotta hop up here.
this night mode is
Turbo
pretty
charger.
cool. These fucking candles. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Body shield here.
Oh,
it's like the Halloween shit.
Shotgun ammo here.
yeah. Oh shit, where
Yeah, I
at?
just found one.
Oh shit,
Yeah, I
bro,
just
is
downed
that
him.
you?
Down one.
Say, okay, I'm with you.
Oh, she's got a teammate.
Our spot
Nice, good shit.
teammates fucked in the butt.
So near me.
Reloading.
Alright, I'm going for a teammate.
shit. Coming, bro.
Oh, Shigo, there is a crazy amount of like digital threats around.
Yeah, I saw one a minute ago in another.
There's
dude's
one there.
box.
There's a sniper one.
Optics here. Sniper.
I have another one on me. So if you have a gun, it can go on. I have one on my
I just picked up the spare one.
the spare gold sight.
I think so. Yeah, I guess there were two 1x threats in that, or there was one when I
Yeah,
looked
there
at
was
it.
there was a
Light ammo here.
sniper one and a
Another digital threat in there.
The ring is in close proximity. Less than 1 minute.
Bet you do, kid. Bet you do.
Spitfire here.
Thanks. Taking a
Happy to
minute.
help, friend.
Catching up.
Only 30 seconds left on the clock. The ring's close.
I don't have enough light bullets to do a double light here.
There was 40 lot rounds in that box over here that I marked with the thread in it.
Over.
The ring's
I need
close.
heavy ammo.
10 seconds.
Right.
Light ammo here.
Oh no, digital threat. That's crazy.
Optics here.
Someone dropped this flatline. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna drop this flat.
Oh, I hear enemies over
Dropping
here.
this flatline if you want. Oh no, I'm gonna.
Fire, friends.
Got one.
Enemy taken down.
Flatline here.
I'm coming.
Taking fire. They got me. Let's contact.
I'm being shot from the side.
Trying to flank and sucking the truck up.
Oh,
Got one. Where they at,
I
Joe? Where
ran
they at,
away.
bro? Somebody's getting them fucking selves up.
come in.
Oh my god, no.
Hostile right here. Contact with hostile.
I'm being shot from behind too.
Oh shit, there's... Dude, you got 3 people around you. You got 3 people around you. One of them's right in here. Yeah, just keep running. Just keep running.
Calling the airstrike.
Crawl to safety if you can.
Oh, good shit. Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, you might have just... Oh no, that was our teammate. Yeah. That was fucked. Okay. I think somebody's chasing me.
There just wasn't anybody except that robot, and all of a sudden, as soon as I opened fire on him, they're everywhere.
Yeah, before you ran to that building, I saw 3 around you. Or that's what I counted anyway. Shit was crazy.
Shit was cray.
Where the fuck? Hey, can you send Grim a text where the fuck you at?
Sure. Boom, 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 boom. Where the fudge you at? Fudgeroony face.
Bro.
I'm gonna switch up legends to.
Farmers Insurance, bundling your home and auto could save you an average of 20%. It's a more perfect pairing than pineapple and peach. Yes. Pineapple. Get a quote at farmers.com.
He said he just got home. He'll be on in the field.
Muy bueno. Oh, sorry, dude. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to ready up.
Good.
Dude, you ever have charro beans in a Mexican
I
restaurant?
don't think so.
I think they're just pinto beans cooked with like pork or bacon and like a hot
Okay.
pepper. Dude, they're muy
They
delicioso.
sound it.
I'm cooking some without the hot pepper right now because like every time I cook them with the pepper, I get it too hot. Like I mean, I'll get a tiny little fucking jalapeno, like a tiny one, and slice it up and put it in there. Shit's too fucking hot. It's like, so I'm just doing the bacon and the beans, but dude, it's really good. I like pressure cooked it for 100. Well, it was dried beans, so I pressure cooked them for like 100 minutes, and I used a lot of water, and then I'm like putting them on a low boil until they thicken up somewhat, you know. But dude, they're real good and they're real cheap. I mean, it's like the cost of a small pack of bacon and fucking dried beans for less than $1, you know.
Sounds.
And if you want the jalapeno, put the jalapeno in there.
Yeah, maybe not the jalapeno, but the rest sounds delicious.
It's really good. And you know, whatever spices, I put like onion powder, salt, and black pepper, and a little bit of chipotle chili seasoning for the smoky.
Okay, that sounds pretty delicious.
And a little spice, you know.
Yeah, I like a little bit of spice, but I mean, if it's too much, it's like you can't even enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just pain.
Oh, we got flyers are back.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them shits.
Body shield here. Level RE45 here. EVA 8 here. Nuring is distant. Might be something good this way.
Oops, I didn't.
Another gold site. Do you want a gold site? Gold site for you.
I guess I'll take it.
I'll bring it to you.
Thank you. You need, yeah. You need any light ammo?
Sure, light or heavy or whatever. Are you ready?
I don't have any heavy to spare right now. But... Oops, I didn't mean to drop the Phoenix kit. But I dropped a couple of shield cells.
Okay. That works. Thank you, sir.
Keep eyes on the new kill leader.
No problemo.
They said there was a body shield in this bitch, and some other stuff in this bitch, and some bitchy stuff in this bitch.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
the body shield. Body shield, all about body shields. That's probably like OP, honestly. That threat detector sniper scope is probably insane now.
I'm sorry. What kind of threat
The
detector
sniper scope? It's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
like
Yeah, it's pretty
super good in this
Uh,
mode. Like,
Oh yeah, right. Because it's dark. Yeah, yeah. I've used it in the regular mode before on Kings Canyon. At least one time it was badass. I didn't really use it often. You know, you don't find it often anyway. But
teammate was shooting.
I think they make it kind of a good scope because you rarely find it. You know, so like
right.
they make it where you don't have to have an extreme amount of practice with it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I kind of wish they would put not mode on like every. Well, I guess they couldn't do it every set number of games because it's on different servers. But I wish they would pepper not mode in there randomly on every server, like not every other game, but you know, here and there.
Or if it was like a dynamic time system, and like if it was nighttime and on whatever server you're playing on, you're playing with night mode.
Like if it was in real
Yeah.
life, nighttime, it'd be nighttime.
That'd be some sick
Yeah, that'd be kinda
shit,
cool.
bruh.
There's a
Yeah,
flat
I would,
line.
but I got a Prowler with select fire and a gold sight. And I just got another gold sight for my alternator.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. That Prowler with select firing. Yeah, that's definitely a good weapon.
Those care packages likely shift the delta in our favor.
Shifting them deltas.
You don't want these problems, Hakuna Matata.
Shotgun ammo here.
All this stuff's open. I don't know if teammate opened it or.
Yeah, I didn't see either.
Hemlock here. Heavy ammo here. Light ammo here.
Warrior
Oh, shit, we
is,
gotta go.
way ahead of us. Way
We gotta go.
ahead.
The wall's here. We gotta go.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay.
Run, Pathfinder, run!
Trying to catch up to you. Really dope.
Oh, and warriors shooting people.
Subject over there.
Grapple, grapple!
Yeah, good idea, Warrior.
Reloading.
Oh, yo, where are you? Oh, I see.
Optics here. Close range.
Throwing Arc Star.
Oh shit.
Repairing my damages.
Oh shit, are you gonna fight? Oh no, he's killing somebody. Okay.
No, that was me. Well, Warrior, I guess you shouldn't have been a fucking dumbass, and guess you should have waited for us when you saw we were there with you.
Yeah,
Fucking
man.
dumbass. Sorry to be so harsh.
It is
You're a
what it
fucking
is.
dumbass. It is what-
Oh, there's a subject there?
sir, I got syringes for you, bro. I'm dropping them as soon
Yeah,
as
no,
I
you-
heal. One.
I'm
tick.
good. I'm out of this. I'm
you
out
go.
of the thing.
Let's not die. I am taking fire.
Oh, take him.
I'm out of the
Somebody's
thing. I'm
coming.
not
Take
with
him.
you.
Oh, okay. They're attacking me in the storm. They ran into the
Oh,
storm
shit.
to attack me. God
I
damn.
didn't realize that you weren't coming with me.
Two of them there. You might can hurt them while they're ticking down there.
They're respawning somebody back there, I think.
This ring is not close.
I can't believe those fuckers ran into the storm to kill me.
Damn!
No! Oh! There were only two of them when they attacked me. Their third one must have joined them or something. Hey Joe, do you care to give me like 12 minutes? I'm just going to eat a bowl
That's
of
fine.
beans and I'll be
That's
back.
fine.
Alright, I'm not even going to...
Poop after?
I'm not getting offline, I'm just backing out
Okay.
so you can... No, yeah, a little poop, little fiber, you know, beans. But, I'm just backing out so you can play and so Grim can play when he gets on. But I'll be back in like 10 or 12 minutes.
Sounds good.
All right,
Peace. So I'm watching a time lapse of some art stuff on Instagrams. Grim should be on like any minute. Grim. Yo.
Yo, what's up, mechanic? What's up,
Happening?
Anonymous?
Anonymous is gonna need some beans.
God Fox.
Yeah.
Ooh, did you guys do After Dark yet?
Yeah. We just got finished the game. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, you ready for another game?
He's
Zero.
eating beans.
Oh, he's really eating beans? Okay. I don't know if that's just something crazy you were saying. He's really just taking a bean break. Okay.
Save during Winter Wellness Week. CVS with hundreds of weekly wellness deals. This week,
Do you like the After Dark
Yeah,
mode?
it's pretty sweet. We've only played one game or 2 games. I forget now.
All night? That's
Yeah.
all you played?
We played a couple games of regular Apex.
Oh, but you played more than one game total. You played
Yeah.
regular games too. Right. So you know, I thought I saw at some point while I was at work hours ago that you tagged me in an Instagram
Yeah.
post.
This is your champion.
It's the season opening. It's really fun to do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Let's land here.
What do you got against Illusions, bro?
If you have to breathe.
What do I got against the losers? No.
Illusions. I'm talking to our jump master.
I guess he thinks he's the real deal Holyfield. No illusions here. It's 100% greatness. Yeah, I want to get a good screenshot of the cage. I want to paint the cage as my first sellable artworks.
It's another digital
they-
threat.
They're like all over the place in this game mode.
Yeah, I figured maybe since it's night mode.
Optics here. Close range.
I like it.
Body shield here.
And never mind. Oh, it is for the idiot that doesn't have a vest. Oh wait, it's me.
Whoops. I wasn't laughing.
Sending out my decoy.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't have any of them. Oh, I just found one.
Sniper stock here. Level 2. Some champion.
Yeah, I'd rather take that. Actually, I don't need that heavy clip.
Optics here. Close range. Might be something good this way.
Lost volume for a second. Keeps happening. Then I unplug the little box on the bottom of my controller, plug it back in, then it works again. So I don't know if it's the box or the headset.
Yeah, I don't know either. I have similar issues.
I need a bag if you see one.
Yeah, me too. I also need a knockdown shield.
Oh, there was just one back there. Right to where you went ahead of me. I was laying like all the way at the end of this shit. Like, or maybe it was in the next one down. I don't know. I know it was definitely in here somewhere. Oh, right, and there's still the Leviathan.
Yeah, and
there,
there's
right?
flyers.
I don't.
There's no knockdown
okay.
shield here.
I don't think either of those are in the night mode somewhere, but
Oh, down here there is.
it said around the corner.
Yeah.
It is around the
All the
corner.
way down. All the way down.
Almost there. We are close to the ring.
Oh, loot tick. I punched one of these in a long ass time. Found a double tap. And there's a scout in here too if you want.
I'm good. I got devotion and peacekeeper.
Attention. Delivering care package.
There is a blue. Okay, you're coming over here.
Gotta hop up here. Optics here. Optics here.
A blue what?
vest.
Oh, sweet.
Optics here.
Distract him with the useless
Oh,
gold items.
Shotgun bolt here.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go pick the light back up because I'm done with. Gonna drop that peacekeeper.
Light ammo here. Optics here. Close range. Dibs. Dibs.
Yeah, no bags anywhere, man. Finally found a bag. I can't hear you if you're talking. Okay.
Yeah, I had to unplug my shit again.
Purple, purple light mag in that building with that body shield.
Oh shit, yeah, I can use it. The wall's coming up. Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
You only have 2 syringes.
Yeah.
In this building? I don't know which way you want to go. Where do we even have? We don't even have a teammate anymore. Oh, you're going this way.
Oh shit! Yeah, where'd our teammate go?
You have a lot of heals.
Yeah, I have a couple med kits and a couple small ones. Oh, we got people right here.
You
Yeah.
have med kits? I only found 2 syringes. I don't know why that's all I found.
Oh shit! I'm about to die.
They ran towards there, so let's go here and heal.
Okay.
Trust in the All Father. Give my shield to recharge. I am taking fire.
Yeah.
Med
yeah.
kit or something.
Attention. The kill leader has been eliminated.
Taking a moment to recharge my shields. Get out there, bamboozled.
You got a minute 46 until the ring comes again. Shit. Accidentally did not use the med kit.
She got bamboozled.
They're right here. Oh, damn. They were even behind that bin. Fuck. Yeah, they're all just waiting there. They're over there, right there, fucking everywhere.
That's crazy. I just hit him with so many bullets from that 99, and he still won the fucking fight. Yay!
Awesome.
Are you back, Zero? Did I hear you?
Yeah, oh, I got that stupid server shutting down shit for a second there.
Stop hiding from us, Zero.
Oh, man.
You all beamed up.
Yeah, yeah. I misunderstood you for a second.
Yeah, I was thinking Bloodhound would be good for this mode. Because of his ultimate
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the tracking.
The gust of wind cools up the Either you're with me or you're against me. Or you're with me and against me, because that happens sometimes.
Introducing your champion.
Joe, did you tell me that you had gotten some of those Prismacolor pencils?
Yeah, I got a thing of them. You're going to bed? Okay.
Try not to blink. You may miss me.
Ah, let's do the ship. We haven't done the ship in forever.
Ship over
Life
there.
and death.
Alright.
Okay.
Find me there.
Oh, this is the best part.
You working from home tomorrow?
Supply ship over there.
Okay. All right. 7:30.
Guess we're the only ones that landed here.
Yeah. Nice easy drop.
Yeah. Dope sauce.
The dopest.
Round one. Beginning ring countdown.
So Joe, I wanted to ask you, have you drawn anything with it? Or even just checked
Yeah,
out
I
the
did a
colors?
little bit with them. Nothing too crazy.
Alright, you want to jump?
Are they better than, are they like darker colors and shit than regular
I
color
haven't
pencils?
noticed that, but they seem to be easier to use. Like the lead or whatever is softer.
Okay, you got the ones that say they're a soft core.
No, I don't think I got those specifically, but it's compared to like Crayola or whatever, they go down smoother and easier. It doesn't take
Cool.
as much force.
The reason I said that is I noticed I was about to order a pack, and then I noticed there's different kinds of them. Like one of them have a hard core, and one of them are called like Prismacolor Premier or Premium or something. And it says they're soft core ones.
Oh,
And it said they each have their strengths and weaknesses. Like, you know, the soft core ones were better for like shading and blending, and the other ones were better for putting down, I don't know, hard lines or fine detail or something.
well, maybe I did get the soft core ones then. I didn't do it on purpose and didn't think I saw anything that said that. But I think mine are the premier ones.
Optics here. Close range.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I want to get some, but the local Walmart, they're kind of fucking. They only had a 12-pack, and the 12-pack was like $15, and I'm like, I think there's a better deal in this, even like on just
Yeah, I
Amazon
think
or something.
I definitely got mine at Walmart, and I think it was a 20-pack for something like that.
Well, that's more like it. I mean, you know, less than $1 a piece sounds more
Yeah,
reasonable.
but I mean, like the fact that you would go to a Walmart and yours would be more than that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Now they were also in like a little tin.
Yeah,
So
mine came like that.
you know, maybe they were trying to sell this piece of fucking cheap, worthless metal for $3 more or something, you know. It's a collector's tin.
Mine came in a tin as well.
You can store your regular pencils in it when you're finished.
Yeah, I would like to get a like an art kit that like I can put everything in, or like at least put all the pencils in.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All the ones that have that are like pre-made kits, like they're made to fit like what comes in it, and then that's it. But I kind of just want like a, but I also just don't want like a box. I want like a thing that'll hold them nice. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that.
That's not an enemy. I'm trying to ping this fucking select fire and it won't let me do it.
I already called dibs on it. That's probably why.
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't know that somebody had pinged it. I was trying to mark it for you.
Yeah, thank you. I could use a prowler. Have you seen a prowler?
No, just the one I'm carrying.
I'm not sure.
Watch out for the new kill leader, friend.
It's a second blue body shield I pinged.
Keep a lookout.
Backpack here. Level 2.
Oh,
There's a third one.
I can use that. Body shields here. Level 2.
So if you don't have a body shield,
Here you go.
thanks a million.
what was that?
No, I'm going
Purple
for it.
with the stabilizer.
What? I was just up there. I wasn't up there earlier.
Oh, I dropped it
Gotta hop up here.
when I picked up that other thing. It fell off my gun. I didn't have room to carry it.
That's 80 light ammos.
Did you pick up that big bag?
No.
I didn't.
No. Where
it
was
was in one of the
Yeah, it's right there.
buildings. Or maybe it was on the roof
These
of one of the
things.
buildings. Oh shit, the circle's coming. I'm not gonna be able to make it back to that stabilizer probably.
Shit. I found it.
Anybody want a
Alright.
threat?
Optics here. Close range.
I got one. Yeah, I'm gonna start running in. Storm's literally burning guys.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Trust in the old pharmacy.
I set a zip line from the top
Yeah,
of one of those
I
buildings, Joe. I'm
called
not
it.
sure where you're
I
at
called
right now.
it. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Round 2. Beginning.
Get 1,000 light ammo in here.
I am preparing myself.
Oh yeah. I got plenty myself if you need some,
Yeah,
Joe.
no, I'm good.
No.
Or either of you.
I'm good.
I could definitely use some heavy if you see it though.
Yeah, I have some heavy.
There's some in here.
Alright. Thanks, I'm
And
counting.
I'm dropping 80 for some burning sticks, so it's like 120.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
Hell yeah, it's just
Yep.
that's what I need.
Yeah,
Another
take care.
2. in
Um,
case you want
when
that.
Chips goes to bed with y'all.
Heck
Wanna
yeah.
go rush over there?
Oh, are they fighting?
Yeah,
it's good
it
to
sounds
me.
like they're
Coming, Joe.
probably at the market or whatever. But this general direction. These doors are all open.
Barrel stabilizer here. Level 2.
Go for it.
Oh, that's like running into the storm. Maybe we should just go in the storm. I mean, out of the storm, in circle.
Oh yeah, okay. You
No,
want
I'm
a
good.
And look
stabilizer,
for
Joe?
people to fight.
I ran back in the last storm to get that purple one. Oh, there's a box
Oh,
here?
okay, cool.
Yeah.
You got it though?
Yeah, I got it.
Body shield. Spit. G7 scout here.
People were here 30 seconds ago. So these are all fresh boxes. I just saw crows.
I think I hear somebody.
Yeah, I think so
It's
too.
just you.
Faking him out with a decoy.
There's a zip line running through the caves.
Ah,
Oh yeah, okay.
went that way. Yep. By where they went, sounds like that's where the shots are at.
All right, I'm behind you. Oh, I see somebody jumping or zipping outside of the cave.
30,
You went to
yep,
the left?
30 seconds, 29. We're catching up to them. Oh, right there. I'm starting with a fire grenade.
They're shooting people to the
Okay.
left too, though. Right behind this rock. There's
Somebody jumped up here.
Got one. Get it, kids.
the other squad.
Jesus Christ.
Shit.
We got melted.
We gotta step our game up. Yeah. Yeah, we were in a bad spot between the two squads there.
I thought you
We were
guys were chasing the other people. That's why I ran in. I'm just gonna try to play more conservative because I feel like I just keep running myself and dying. Getting
Yeah, I
ahead
mean, I
of
was
the
right
game.
behind. I was directly behind you, but there was a fire grenade blocking my path for a second, and then like I zipped up on a rock, and that delayed me a second. There was nowhere to go when I zipped up on the rock, but yeah, yeah. Or we need to like say something or something. I don't know. But I was basically right behind you, but the guys I was shooting at in the squad that you were fighting, like there were two of them,
I know what you're looking for.
and there were still people. I don't think the other people shot me, but that other squad on the other side of them was still firing at them.
You lied, but not this time.
Alright, Chief, you gotta go to bed, bud. Come on. Come on, Pop. Let's go. No, come on. Get bed. Come on.
Maybe we land here, or maybe whatever. Follow the leader.
Oh, a little Skull Town action.
Yeah.
Just before you
mate.
got on, a
I'm
random. Or I'll go here. A random drop us here.
Chips-
It's pretty fun.
Chips
but
going
there are a
there, Mom.
bunch of dudes. Oh shit!
That's a
Shit!
treat.
Shit!
That's a
Shit!
treat.
I can't.
Yeah, it's a
Oh my
treat.
god.
We have somebody on you already?
Yeah, but I'm okay. He didn't have a gun. He's right over here.
Good night, I love you too.
He hit me with a gas trap. Is what I was pissed
Alright.
about.
There's vests for both of you guys here.
All right.
Somebody else in there. Gas man's still in there.
Shit.
I'm
Yeah, I
coming.
got
I
a,
only got
I
one
got a
clip, but I'm with
P2020. This is not. Shoot him in his back.
Oh shit! He threw a trap on us. We're with you.
I'm.
Shit!
He's down.
I hit him one bullet. Oh, he burnt me to death.
Now the burning stick was me.
Oh, there's another dude. Another guy.
You're in a kill zone.
Good shit.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
had a
good
P2020.
try,
It
dude.
was not gonna last long.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I was firing through the Bernie stick and couldn't see what I was even fucking shooting at.
Yeah, that was my burning stick.
I hit
I was
one
gonna
bullet.
try to burn the door down. Oh, You can't have any of this. I didn't realize there was all these fucking toys here, but I don't know, it was like
I thought the cost for it.
shut the door.
You have an okay day at work today?
Yeah, it was alright.
As work days go.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like this one girl I work with might be stealing from me.
Oh no shit. Oh, from you? From your fucking register?
Well, because when you're bartenders together, you share everything. But I don't know, I feel like...
Oh, like tips?
You know, and then we have tables too. Usually I just stay behind the bar and she does all the tables. And then she helps me if I need help. But then she counts the money because she leaves first. But I feel like when I work with her, it's busier than usual and I make less money. So...
Oh, is she supposed to take her tips from the tables and contribute them to the tip pool?
Yeah, that's what happens, yeah. But,
Gotcha,
you know,
okay.
I don't know if she's holding out. I don't know. All I know is days that are crazy busy, I think I'd make more than usual, and I make less than usual. So,
Dude, you should
and I
tell
feel
your
like I'm
manager.
doing a lot more work. You know what
You
I
should
mean?
tell
There's
your
no proof.
manager.
I have to do proof.
Well-
I need to like count the tips first, and then ask her what she made on tables, and then I'd be able to catch her. But I just,
Well, how would-
you know, it happened 3 days in a row. The last 3 times I worked with her, it's just fell off. So I don't know.
How would you know she was being honest with you about what she was making, though?
Well, because if I know what's in the bar thing, because I'm back there most of the time, I'll count that personally. And I'll ask her what she made on tables, and then I'll look at the report of how much the sales were for the tables, and so I'll know generally how much she should have made on tables.
Oh, just multiply it by 15 to 20% or something.
Well,
Yeah.
20% on average at least usually. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, I thought maybe the first time was like maybe it just seemed busier than it was, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
The
once
math-
that happens,
The math didn't seem to
Yeah.
add up. I mean, I seem to make so much money behind the bar that for the split, the math just didn't add up. It means she barely made
Yeah.
anything on tables, but I know she didn't. So
what a cunt.
yeah, I gotta work on that.
It's like that fucking meme where the dude's either looking at like a blackboard or like he's imagining it in his mind or whatever, and all these fucking equations are in front of him and shit. Like that fucking Always Sunny where they work in the mail room to get health insurance, and fucking Charlie is trying to
when
figure
they're in
out
the mail
this
room,
one
yeah.
guy, and he's got all the strings
Oh,
like
yeah.
pointed to different shit.
He doesn't exist. None of these people exist. It all leads back to this one guy. He's not real. And he's like, no, he is real. He works on the second floor.
Hold your breath if you have to breathe.
Bow,
Could you,
bow.
You couldn't even tell, really, even from looking at the cameras, could you? Like, if she was pocketing money and then not...
Nah, because you keep the money on you.
Let's explore this.
I don't know, yeah. Plus, I'm not even sure the cameras actually work, so...
Yeah, that's a drawback.
Well, I mean, but you could look at the sales for the tables and get an idea whether she's,
Yeah, that's what I was saying I'm going to have to do.
and just see like,
Multiply it by
right, and just know like
20%.
what she should have made,
Yeah.
and then when she puts in like nothing, say, why you put nothing in, bitch? I know the dealio.
Yeah, see, the whole thing is that she counts all the stuff, you know, so I have to start
Optics here.
either watching a count, but I'm gonna do what I tell. I don't know how long you're here for the conversation, but you know, usually both are like in front of the bar, behind the bar. That doesn't matter about the stealing part. I mean, she could be stealing it whenever, but the thing is, I could look. I could count the money behind the bar and then ask her how much she made on tables. And then do the math there, and then also I could look up her sales to see if whatever she's telling me is less than it should.
Oh shit, dude attack him.
Figured him out with his decoy.
That's my arc star.
Guy from across the bridge. Well, mark. Thank you. Broke their shield.
You're coming.
Yeah.
That was the last one. Nice work.
Yeah, you might even like talk to your manager and tell him what's up, or her, or whatever, and ask her if she could just say, "Hey, new policy, guys. Anybody that's sharing a tip pool, both people have to count it." So I mean, it won't even look like you're being like, "Hey, bitch, you're stealing from me." You know.
Yeah.
But
Right,
I don't.
and this way you could be out of it
Hell, you're
completely.
a grown man.
Yeah.
You don't
I
need
mean,
my advice.
Yeah, but the way those people are, I feel like if I told even my manager, she'd probably
SMG here.
tell everybody why I was saying it. So I have to just figure it out for myself.
That would
really.
suck. Yeah. Yeah,
I
your
mean, they
plan
wouldn't
is
tell
fine.
me, but they would probably be like, "Yeah, Dan thinks you're stealing." They'd probably just tell her. She worked there way longer than I did. She's been there for like 8 years or something.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Do you guys need heals?
Oh,
If you
no,
find
I
out
do it
she
for
is,
small ones.
are you just gonna? You're just gonna go to the manager with it if you find out she is probably
Oh yeah,
stealing.
I mean, if she is stealing, fuck that. Yeah, fuck. I don't want to work with somebody that's stealing my money.
Hell no, dude. Hell no.
I mean, she's really cool. I hang out with her and stuff, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. The math.
Heavy
So,
No. And when tips are the the biggest part of your income, I mean that's fucking your
That's
paycheck.
100. It's 100% G income. That's literally.
You don't get paid
I mean,
anything
you get 280.
as a bar.
You get
Yeah,
283 an
okay, right,
hour,
right.
but you don't actually get a check
Yeah,
for
that's-
that. That's just the taxes eat up. So. Just 100%
I'm sorry, that's
tips.
just what?
Yeah.
The taxes eat it up, but you don't even get a check.
said you don't actually
the
get a
tax,
check?
The tax, you have to claim the tips you make in the computer, so you don't actually see a check
Oh,
for that
okay.
283.
So you mainly
Yeah.
get to that mainly covers your taxes though.
I mean, I'm probably gonna owe
Mostly.
money at the end of the year. I'm not even sure. I never had to
I
claim
got
so
you,
much
I
money
got you.
back in the
Yeah.
day. I didn't have to claim as much as I do now.
Yeah, word.
Yeah,
that's-
so here. I have 2 syringes. I have 4 shield cells. Do you not have any shield cells, Zero? All I have is 4.
Here, I
no,
got
I'm not.
some big ones. I'll show you.
Oh shit, the wall's coming.
Okay,
There you go.
okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
I
here,
have
you
4
guys
of them.
loot this
All I
house
have.
here. I'm gonna set a portal, and then you guys can come out on the other
Alright.
side of the house. And,
I'm gonna loot the next house.
yeah.
You found that?
99 here. And a USOT.
Got a 3-0. I think I'm gonna keep that for distance. I'm gonna try playing a little more distance this game than just running in. It doesn't seem to be working for me.
And I'm dropping some too big and too small when you come out of that portal. Just keep running towards me. You'll see too big, too small
Alright.
shield cells.
Oh
You
yeah.
guys
thanks.
can split them however you want.
I'm popping actually, I'm not even. I'm leaving one for you, Grim. A big one. And a small one.
Would you leave?
Shield cells.
A big one and a small one.
Okay, I see it. I see
You'll
it.
see the big one, but. Dude, I think I saw fire coming towards you, Joe.
Yeah, there's some fighting
not
over
sure.
that way, but
Let's explore
we're
this
not in any shape to fight, so I tried to avoid it.
Nah.
I am repairing myself.
Shit, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna run up to the top of the hill and throw a zip.
Yeah, I'm looking for heals. I only have 3 syringes.
Shit. Shit. You might have to try to rescue me, Joe.
So you're blue? Okay.
Do grapple, man.
Grapple.
Thank you. I'm going toward the ring. I'm gonna crawl.
Oh,
I'm gonna
you're
crawl
close
toward
enough.
the ring.
Yeah, just let him crawl in.
These.
And then I'll have more health when he starts, too. As long as you have enough yield. That's further than I thought it was. So.
There we go.
Whew.
Alright, so I have
Now I
one
have no
big
health.
and
Oh,
there you
thanks.
go. And then I have 2 syringes, so I'm gonna be 100%
Yeah,
out of
just
health
keep your.
after
Yeah,
this.
keep your syringes and yeah.
Well, I need to use the 2 syringes to heal myself.
Oh yeah, right.
But now I'm 100% out of health.
Noise.
Alright, let's not burn and storm again. We gotta
Yeah.
stop doing that. And then
Yeah.
also we get stuck with teams on the edge. It's just bad all around.
It's hard enough. Get out of there, Opie. Hey,
Only
get
7
out.
other squads.
Get out. It's hard enough to fight the people on the map. To have to fight the map also.
Fighting the map itself. That's 80 heavy right there.
Did you
Nah,
want it for
I
my
have
Right
one.
grenade,
down
Joe?
there.
I've got 4 of
No,
them.
I'm good. I'm
Well,
good.
let me
It's
give,
fine.
Let me give you
No, just
at
make
least one
them
more.
do work.
I think people
think
are
they're
right
in the
around this
building.
corner right here.
Okay.
I think some.
And somebody's on the roof over there.
Target over there.
They might be in this building in front
Yeah,
of
they
us,
are
too.
in the building. They are in the building. No, on the porch. On the porch. He just jump padded.
Oh shit! I did not mean to jump pad. He's over there.
Oh, somebody's up here.
I'm taking shots.
I got fast legs.
Bangalore just jumped down. Bangalore's down.
There's another one down there. Fuck.
Enemy down.
There's another one down in this area.
Need to recharge my shields.
Nice.
Yeah. There's another squad though. There's another squad, I believe. The ones that were shooting at him from across the way.
We're already inside.
Shit. Fudge.
Optics here. Close range.
Yeah, I'll take the syringes. Somebody taking the Phoenix kit.
Repairing. Check it out. Care package coming in.
Joe, you should get that Phoenix kit.
I have
think.
one.
I-
I have one.
Okay.
I'm gonna pop this though.
I got it.
Patching myself
Good
up.
shit. There should be that other squad. I don't think they got defeated
Need to
before
recharge my shields.
we attacked this squad.
I see them.
Alright.
Out front of bunker.
Alright, I'm right behind you.
Somebody, another
Let's
squad's
push
fighting
them.
them.
Okay, and the circle's coming in, so just... Yeah,
A
okay.
little third party action.
Yeah, I'm gonna set a portal up from here to there, so this way we can retreat if we need it.
They's coming.
Setting a portal.
Okay.
They're right there.
Yeah.
They's coming.
All right, there's a portal in the back
Yep.
porch if we need to retreat.
I hit one for about 50 or 60.
Throwing thermite grenade.
Oh, there's somebody back here.
Ooh,
I thought they were
bitch,
still
I'm
in
right
front of
into a
bunker
box.
with the smoke.
That was the last one.
There was, well, the person that was out front I killed, but there might still be more people there. I heard people fighting.
I just heard a caustic trap.
Yeah, I hear him shielding up or something.
Traps.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Taking damage, friends. Thermite grenade out.
Birdman special, I think.
They've laid traps.
Alright.
Yep.
Yep.
They've laid traps.
Uh,
I'm burning him.
I'm
I'm
down.
burning him. Where you
Yeah,
at?
I'm
Where you
burning
at?
them too.
Okay.
They're messed up. They're messed up.
I'm pulling.
Oh, Mirage just went invisible.
Are they out here?
Mirage is dead. He thought he was invisible.
Shit.
But he stopped being invisible.
Oh my god. I got 99.
Fuck, I'm down. God damn it. There's a caustic above you.
Oh, good shit. Good shit.
Nice, nice, nice.
Swinging past you, dude.
Right here.
Where'd you
Right
go?
here,
Where'd you go?
right here,
Where'd you
right here, right here.
Good shit. Yeah, I thought I was ready to rock, and some fucker came out there with a 99 in my face and melted me in a
Yeah,
second.
I thought I was screwed because I was like fumes kidding while the two of them ran out, and then I just
Yeah, that was
crouched
some
down and
close.
pretended like I was like dead.
That's a damn
While I
good
was
save.
healing.
It's close at least.
You're such a hero. You must be like a fucking teacher or something.
Close range.
Throwables. Excuse like maybe another grenade. Oh, storm's coming right now. Right now.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Rings coming in.
We should run straight. Run
Alright.
straight. Run straight.
Okay.
I got some
yeah,
heals for you, Zero.
There's 2 squads left.
Yeah, I think
I
I've
also
got, I've
need
got
optics.
some. I just can't hit them yet.
Some sort of 1x optics. Nope. I didn't think there was.
I am repairing myself.
Yeah, I've got heals. Do either of you not have enough shield
No, I got
cells or
22
batteries?
shield cells.
I've got 2 batteries.
I'm
Okay.
good on batteries.
I'm nothing but ammo and heals.
Good shit.
Recharging shields.
Countdown.
Right, all right. Where these other chumps at? It's dark out
Dark and hell is hot.
here. I see a lot over there, and I don't know if it's just part of the scenery.
It's the
or
care
if it's
package.
fucking. Yeah, I mean, like I see a little yellow light, like a light bulb looking shit, just glitching over there, and I
That's
don't.
the burning wall on the side of a rock or something.
1 minute until close.
Okay.
Rings nearby.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. Oh shit, Grimmy, going for that care package.
Alright, I got the stuff.
Good shit.
Purple heavy
Hey.
mag. Anybody need it?
No, I'm
I
double
don't need
light.
it.
Hell yeah.
Shield
Nice
battery.
putting the
Anybody need it?
decoy there. I've got a I'll take
Let's see
one.
batteries. Oh shit.
I've already
Joe's
got
gone.
one.
I was going a long
Oh,
way.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I was going a
Are
long
you here,
way.
Joe? Oh, I thought you meant he was going out the game, going.
Oh,
I just turned around and I wasn't standing where I used to be.
Yeah. This shit's out in the open, huh?
we should go somewhere that we have some cover.
Yeah.
Just for a battle. 'Cause we might have to fight 2 teams.
In progress. Good. We're inside.
Sniper, move.
Maybe a
Sniper in the area.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Up here. I've seen him.
Oh, yeah.
The other squad's behind that rock.
Got bamboozled. Throwing thermite grenade.
Oh, guy I was aiming at was not the sniper.
Need to recharge my shield.
Where am I getting sniped? The dude's in the wall. I think he's doing a glitch.
Oh damn. I got one kid down. Another team is shooting me. Other team up here.
Damn.
Yeah, we were in a fucked spot, man. They were in the best spot. I mean, we were doing the best we could, but they were like there 5 minutes ago up in those rocks
Yeah.
or something.
The shot?
Yeah, we were like in the middle of the circle too, so
Let me clip it. the shots were literally coming like out of the rock. That's what it looked like. I saw bullets
Oh, it
flying,
may have been.
and I threw
were
the
two-
Bernie stick, but
It may very well have been. There were
How do I
two guys
record?
to the left of that rock, but I was attacking
saw
them
them
down
later.
one of them. Okay, okay. And I got shot from a guy like way over to the left on another rock. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. Like 2 minutes. I just got to run to the bathroom. Shit like that. Put some beans in a bowl. Right. Peace. Be right back.
let me watch this.
Right, Opie, these motherfuckers are cheap, Poppy. They're cheap. You gonna bite them? You gonna bite them? I think you should bite them. Don't speak my language. Puppy, why can't you just be a good puppy most of the time?
Yeah, Joe, if you have time, what? Oh, it's probably not uploaded to Xbox yet. I just rewatched it. It's super suspect. Literally, like, triple take shots are coming out of the rock. So I threw a Bernie stick there and started shooting there, and it's still showing that I'm getting shot from there. You can't see anybody else there. I mean, I saw previously other people around, but not where the shots were coming from. It was literally coming from the rock.
I'll take a look at it once it uploads. Hope you get down. You can't walk on that, bud. You can't walk on that, bud.
I'm gonna take a smoke break. You can play a game when Zero gets back. If he's back before then. Alright, I'll be back soon.
Yo, get down. We don't do that. We don't do that. Sit. Stay.
I'm back. Ah,
Yeah,
server
Grim said
shutting
you
down.
taking
Some
so
bitch.
long, he's fucking done. He's leaving. He ain't playing with your ass no more.
Fuck!
Ow, Opie. What's up, Opie? What's going on? No, you can't eat my headset. You can't eat my headset.
Oh, so
No.
so Chibs has to go to bed, but Opie gets to stay up
Well,
late, huh?
Opie was locked in the room, and Chibs was in here with me. And Kim was getting ready for bed. Now, when she goes to bed, she takes Chibs to bed with, because she gets the good bed. Then I get to sleep in the shitty bed with Opie. Right, Opie? Yeah. No, you cannot. No, absolutely not. That's mine. Now, Grim said he was gonna go smoke, so we can play a game if we want while we wait,
All right.
or we could wait and whatever, and I
Sounds good.
can doodle.
Whatever.
Yeah, I need to work on a new. No one cares. No one cares. Need to work on a new logo because my logo is the combination of a couple stolen things. So I found like cool skulls and a cool pistons, and a See, Opie, this is why you can't stand on this shit. Because you just fell. So it's like pistons and skulls and like a gear and like an Xbox controller thing. Stop it. Stop. Cut it out. Lay down. No,
Me.
lay down. And I just took that stuff and put it in GIMP and made it all one thing and added some color, and that was my logo. Is my logo. And I need to not steal stuff. Now that especially now that I have the ability to like draw digitally, because I couldn't do that before, so I couldn't just draw with my mouse because it was way too tough. So now I can actually,
Sure,
you know
sure,
what I mean?
yeah. Can't draw shit with a mouse.
Now I have a pen tablet, I can do something.
Yeah. Yeah, that ought to be cool. What was Opie trying to stand on that he fell
He
off
was
of?
standing on the chair, which swivels, and like an empty big plastic storage tote.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, dogs. I'm running over here to this cliffside thing because it's the first place I saw where I might can get some loot.
Okay.
We're already inside the ring? Damn, I could have used a good run.
I'm coming toward you guys now.
Mira, backpack here. Level 1, alternator here. Must go faster.
So there's a hemlock in there with that energy ammo.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Brett.
RE45 here. Optics here. Close range.
Yeah.
You want
I
that,
got
Brett?
one on my alternator already.
Alright.
Optics here. Close range.
If you see any spare ammo, I can take it.
Energy and heavy. Oh, just.
I mean, heavy ammo. Yeah, I got enough energy.
Yeah, I got
think.
180. I can
I've only got
share
triple take,
some.
so. Oh yeah, whatever you feel in
Yo,
your
bro, I
heart.
fucking.
Did you just
I
snatch
opened
that
bin
up?
and he fucking.
Oh, you bitch! Oh, the bin. Okay, I thought he I thought you dropped heavy and he just
No.
fucking.
There you go.
Thanks, dude.
I opened the
Very
bin and he
helpful.
snatched like a stabilizer and some other shit. I don't know, but could have used the stabilizer. Oh, actually, there's a purple one here. I'm gonna ping and then pick it up before you can get it.
Barrel
That's mine.
stabilizer here. Level 3.
No.
No, I
Thanks,
need
man.
that. Give it back. I was
Oh,
fucking with him.
What? My bad. Oh,
Thank you.
sorry, dude.
Barrel stabilizer here. Level 3.
I
Well, here.
could use that.
You can use the stabilizer you stole off me already, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah, y'all, bitch.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Yeah, he looted the 2 bins before that, and then I
What?
got there as he was looting the 2nd bin, and I opened the 3rd bin, and he just fucking snatched everything up.
Wow. what a
Yeah, for
turd,
real,
man.
Zos. It's like me running up and just snatching all that shit while he's like looking at it. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Happy calf. Oh boy, am I taking the shit off
Yeah.
of his thing. He's gonna be so mad.
There's a care package coming down.
Oh, I tried to grab that purple vest. I wasn't able to.
That would have been hilarious.
I got this and a what else did I get? I got a
don't
syringe. I got that and a syringe.
Yeah, that's totally shitty to see somebody opening a bin and you run up as a random and just like snatch.
Yeah.
You know. He lacks couth. He's uncouth.
He's very uncouth.
Optics here. Close range.
Don't let him get any of that heavy. Pick it all up. Okay, you got it.
Sorry to hear that, kid. No, I snatched that shit up.
Sorry about your luck.
What kind of heals you got right now?
8 small syringes. 1 big. No, 4 small syringes. 2 big med kits. 8 small shields and 1 big shield cell. Yeah.
Yo, I'll trade you a big shield cell for 4 syringes. I've got a.
Sounds
Phoenix
like Joe
kit,
needs
so.
more heals. He's packing light today.
You need to go suck a dick. You want to snatch stuff out of my bin, you get nothing. You bitch.
Yeah, bitch. Oh, I see
Okay,
dude zipping over there.
Let's go end this game real quick.
Let's do it. Yeah, we're in late game here. Oh, one has come back. One is on the hill there. Ellen, I notice now that I have no sights. Okay.
That's bullshit, man.
Oh well, I fucked that right up.
And our teammates not even
Yeah, I
fucking
can't
here
even
with
believe how
us.
quick he killed me.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
I'm
just-
leaving.
Well, maybe it's best that we die and then leave. Yeah, there we go.
You guys died?
Fuck that dude. Fuck that dude.
Oh, I should have looked at my death recap. That was super quick. I'm sure I was getting double shot, but.
You don't really want these problems, dog. You don't really want these problems, dog. You don't really want these problems, dog.
Just inspired me to put on some of my music. Joe, you're like, even in your fucking, wait a minute. How many people you got on your stream now, bro?
One person.
Is Tristan on the stream?
No. Looks like it's Lurks. What up, Lurks? Appreciate the lurking.
I was just gonna say, when you were reciting lyrics there, you were already better than Tristan singing.
Yeah, and like, first of all, he's like, oh, he's not a mumble rapper, but like, whatever you're saying, you're mumble
He's
rapping.
definitely
it.
a mumble rapper.
Yeah, man, it's like,
In a
so,
a pubert
yeah, like,
voice.
and just
Oh shit!
not fucking
They be on
stopping.
top. Oh shit! I'm down. I have no
I'm
weapon.
going to the
weapons.
perimeter.
Yeah, I mean, and I distinctly recall saying, Tristan,
Yeah,
can you shut the hell
and
up?
then you apologize. You're like,
And he
yeah,
wouldn't
sorry,
do
I
it.
didn't want to be mean, but like, we're in a battle. And he's like, oh, okay,
Yeah, but you
okay.
need to shut the hell up.
Blah 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 hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha.
Yeah, what?
Ha hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha. Ha
Oh
hoo
my
ha
god.
hoo
I think by
ha.
14 I was slightly more mature than that. I don't
Ha
know.
hoo ha.
At least in that way.
Ha hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha.
That's exactly what it was like.
Yeah, that was fun. That was sweet. I like that. I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, I couldn't get a freaking gun. There's like a whole squad landed up top with me and snatched my guns up.
Sniper. Target spotted.
Ha hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha hoo ha.
Yo, Grim, I think your mic's not working.
Oh man, I've been talking this whole time from muted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. It's just some of the things I was saying. I ran out of bullets 2 times. I was destroying people, but I ran out of bullets. He's almost dead. He jumps down. Somebody else comes up. I found 2 boxes. I'm gonna kill
Tristan's a
him.
great singer.
He drops. Yeah, and oh my god, that was so fucking annoying, bro. Oh my god. Even after we said something, he just
Yeah,
wouldn't
so
stop. Like, why would you think
Yeah.
we want you to join our party just to sing in our fucking ears while we're playing, bro?
And
Like,
and to sing Lil Peep. I mean, goddamn.
yeah, I figured
it's
out
like,
why.
oh, it's just
I
touching
couldn't
the
hear him.
balls.
Cause I'm like, yeah, like I don't know, like it's just not working. Blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, yeah, it's just like a triangle with an exclamation point. I don't know what it is. Turns out I had him blocked because he did that before. Yeah, he would just
no,
join
really?
my party, and he would just he would play like Fortnite or something, or he'd play a completely different game. Just join in the party, and I guess he was streaming, so he's like, "Oh, let's go, boys! Let's go! Yeah, let's go, boys! Oh yeah, I got this. Let's go, boy!" And I'm like, "Yo, bro, like I'm streaming, like I can't have all the nonsense." Oh, okay, yeah, my bad.
yeah, he
No
just
shit.
crashes our party all the
Yeah.
time, man.
Yeah, I guess, you know, there are no friends in Ireland or something. I don't know.
You remember when we were 14?
No, we
weren't
were
like
like
that.
drinking.
We're
No,
14, we were like
yeah.
drinking in the alleys. Nobody was like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure we were less mature, but it wasn't
No.
that fucking bad.
But you know what? We also were very blessed. We had a good group of friends that, like, I didn't even think anything of it because I just thought that's what friends were like. But, like, seeing other people,
I think I'm hearing footsteps.
Okay.
Not sure.
seeing, like, other people go through some shit, like, most people don't have friends like we did. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
sure.
Like, where we could, like, rely on each other for shit. Really for anything. I mean, like,
Yeah.
we didn't turn our backs on each other ever. I mean, not everybody has that.
But that was before
Yeah.
Bill P.
That was before Bill P ever turned his back.
There's somebody over here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Kick the
zip over
party
here
off.
and I'll meet you.
I'm coming.
I don't have a vest yet, but I'm coming.
Oh, this dude is so fucked up. He's running away.
Got one.
him.
Got the caustic.
Yeah, that's all I saw.
Can I hear footsteps over here?
Seconds
Coming.
in. 3
It's
seconds.
a
I'm on it.
Gibraltar and somebody else.
I see him.
Nah, they're
Is he up
down the other
top?
side of the
Where is he?
waterfall.
No, he's on the stairs. On the stairs. Oh, one of them jumped up. Jumped up right here.
I have been downed.
He got me. They're right here.
Oh, he hit me with Peacekeeper in the fucking face.
Alright.
You got me. He's right here.
Oh, they're getting somebody up over here.
Oh, yeah, somebody else came. It's just you, Joe, on 2.
Yeah, there was at least, I think there were 2 different squads, but there was at least 3 people there.
Oh yeah, probably so. Probably so.
Yeah.
What, at the end there was
I
3
just,
people?
right there, I just downed a Gibraltar who got somebody else up. Because it took him a bunch of shots and he was like throwing out syringes as I was shooting him. And then somebody ran away.
Oh, maybe we never finished the caustic. Nobody finished the caustic.
Maybe not.
No, he
I
was.
just
He had his
assumed he got-
traps. He had a trap on each side of him, and
I
while
just
that shit
assumed he
was
was
going
dead.
off,
Then that might have been
Well,
the
that was-
whole squad came back.
could be. But there were 2 kids. There were 2 other kids attacking us. So maybe one of them ran around us while we were attacking one of them and revived him. I don't know. I wanted to finish him, but he had a trap on each side of his little. He was in a little hallway with a trap on each side. And one of them was going off. So.
That's my word, I swear. If I say it, then I mean it. That's my word, I swear.
No peep.
I gotta look up Lil Peep again because I remember the one tattoo
I don't even know
on
who he
his
is.
forehead says he's some terrible piece of shit that idiots
I think I'm
listen
mixing
to.
him up with Lil
No.
Xan or something.
Well, there's if you look up just Lil Peep, I can't remember if I just looked up Lil or Lil Peep, but there's a million motherfuckers with Lil something. Okay, so Lil Peep's forehead tattoos say "Get cake, die young," and he's got a giant fucking tattoo along one of his eyebrows that says "Cry baby," and he's got a heart under one eye, a star under the other, a rose on his cheek. I don't even know what the fuck that shit is on his neck. Some real fucked
The
up neck
dumbass
tattoos. He was just to put it, you know, succinctly, he was highly
Yeah.
employable.
Well, I think they do that to themselves, so like now I have to make it as a rapper because I can't get a job as anything else. And it gives them that drive.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Because or else they'll just like
Yeah,
go
they-
over
yeah.
Grimm's house and like tell his very strict father that I'm a rapper, but I just work at Acme right now.
I definitely hear people underneath of me.
Oh shit, yeah, I got people in here with me too. Oh, where you
I
at?
don't
Where
have
you
a
at?
gun yet. I'm working on that.
Opening fire on the enemy.
Oh, I've hurt this guy a bit. It's a robot. Oh, he's on a loot tick. I'm backing out of here if I can. He's going to come finish me, but he's
Alright,
finishing
I just got
me
a
out.
gun. I'm
I
coming.
downed one person, damaged another, but all 3 of them are here.
I was just letting you know if you were in the area so you could hit him while he was doing it. But yeah,
God.
he got me with a damn shotgun or something. No, he got me with the fucking hemlock, but I had no armor.
Are you inside or outside, Grim?
My box is inside.
Yeah, well, that's
I'm
what I
dead.
meant.
You can take all 3 of them. Yeah. It's right in there to the left. We're getting somebody up. Right up there. Right up there.
Good shit. Oh yeah. Good job, Joe. You were alert. Be alert. Arrive unhurt.
Yeah. You know me. I always want to arrive unhurt.
Ring's right here, and I've still got a minute left. It's go time!
Oh, okay. One of Lil Peep's tattoos on his fucking voice box is like a fucked up Lisa Simpson with like her eyes rolled up and her tongue hanging out of this fucked up expression. You should look this dude up. He's got some sweet facial tattoos, basically.
Nice. Maybe I'll get some of his tats.
Yeah, man.
Oh, his actual name was Gustav Elijah R. A-H-R. I don't know how you pronounce it. Hell yeah, Joe. Way to go.
Joe with the big plays.
Oh, and I brought some of these with me.
Optics here. Close range.
Oh, that and this one. So there's two of those if anybody wants.
Close range.
I
I'll
couldn't
take
hear
one of them.
those things.
Oh, yeah. And a prowler.
You want this blue vest?
Oh, and here's another gold thing.
Oh yeah.
Optics here. Close range.
I don't know if you see a cool like
I pinged a 99 and an alternator.
Oh, did you
I
pick
picked up that
99?
99. I picked up the 99.
Okay. Yeah, I pinged.
Somebody's zipping in to that building right there.
There's
okay.
945 over here.
Let's see
I'm
where they
running
go.
towards you.
I
Flatline
got
up
that.
here.
I'm
Okay.
going to see what these people are doing. It was a robot.
Alright, I think I hear footsteps by me.
They're right
They're
here.
coming across the river.
Yeah, I think there's footsteps around. Yep.
Shit. Get EMP.
Yep.
I'm down. No bueno.
Throwing arc star. Giving my shield to read. Sending out my decoy.
Shit. I think I got one right on me too. Yep, I do. I got two on me.
I am taking fire, friends. I am down.
Fuck. Dude, I broke the shield on one and really hurt the other one. There's two of them right in here. We must have had two squads on us, I guess.
Reloading. One sec. Bamboozle him.
Dude, Grim, way to go, bruh.
Shots fired, and they're hitting me. You got bamboozled. Look at you. Opening fire. Reloading. Reload. Alright, enemy.
Oh yeah. What about it? What about it?
That's how you change a life.
I need light
Get anything you want. Yeah.
Nothing left.
Oh, they snatched it. Okay. I had lot bull.
Joe got some. Or syringes. Yeah. Shit. I'm so much fucking
I got
bullets.
that 99 if they didn't snatch it.
I found one.
Okay.
Shit.
Shit. Oh shit.
Ah, no.
Oh wow.
shit.
I can't
I got
believe they hunted you down.
down. Damn.
I thought you were safe. I mean, you were in and out of the
No,
freaking scenery.
not safe. Yeah, Beth.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
Be okay. In my moment.
I know what you're looking for. I'm in.
Not gonna lie, I'm pretty good at this. Okay, I do lie, but not this time.
Introducing your champion.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, I'm so confused now. Okay. So
What?
I thought Lil Peep was the one that came up with the phrase "skid it,"
We could land here.
but it was Lil Pump that
Oh,
came
yeah,
up
that's
with
me.
"skid it."
Whatever. I mean, as long as we win.
Oh,
So like,
No.
I attributed more
Man,
to
I don't
to
even
Lil
know
Peep
what
than
is
even
real
her.
in life anymore.
I know. It's like, I mean, fuck the whole
My whole
tapestry
perception of Little
art
Peep
has
just
been
changed
torn.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it. These guys don't deserve money and fame, but hell.
oh,
they
that
died
was a pretty
young,
good
so I
grenade they
guess
just
needed
threw at
something.
me. They didn't hit me with it, but
I need a select fire.
oh, they're shooting me with that though.
Yes, Prowler. Who's getting shot?
I'm
Joe?
coming, bro.
Damn it!
Come on, double Prowler? Come on.
I got that
Give
one.
me a break.
There's some behind you. Man.
Okay, yeah, I got down.
Shit.
I killed his teammate though. I finished him.
Ah, I thought I was blocking the goddamn door. Apparently I was not.
Yeah, that shit was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You ready, Joe?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nope. Got booted to the home screen. And I'm by myself.
Wait, why are you sending it?
Oh.
You're by
I got
yourself?
booted to the home screen.
Yeah, it's doing that to me a bunch.
Good old boot.
The boot.
Gotta love the good old boot. Oh, so Joe, is Kim and Nicole doing some sort of thing now that they're home, or no? For
No, I don't think
birthday,
so.
or no?
Powered up and ready to go.
Nah,
No.
not that I know of.
My name is Ray.
Everything's gonna be
We have
great.
a job to
At
do.
least that's what I keep telling myself.
Well, most of her friends, I think, were in California, so she probably felt it was probably a birthday thing. Yeah, it was a birthday thing, obviously. So,
Yeah, they went to Florida for their birthday.
oh, Florida? I thought they went to California. You said Disney, but then I thought somebody was in Jan was in California, so I just assumed that they were going to Disney,
No.
California,
No,
or California Disney.
Florida.
It wasn't Jan in
I have no
California?
idea.
I thought she was. No.
Might be a good place to land.
No idea.
No, whatever place she tagged herself in the one day, I assumed it was California. Or maybe because her brother was there, I forget. There's some reason I thought it was California. Oh, I don't know why I picked up a dumb place to land. Whatever. I wasn't even paying attention. Got a flat line, so that wasn't terrible. You want to go into the bunker, get a couple guns and shields, and go kill whoever
Sure,
landed
I'm gonna
there?
hit these houses on the way.
That sounds good. I'm trying to get like at least something in the house
There's
here.
a vest.
I just found a vest for myself anyway. I don't see a gun yet.
I found one for you then, Joe.
Okay.
Put a thing on that thing.
Oh, here's-
a ping
yeah.
on that thing.
Damn, I
The
can't find a
vest
gun. I'm
is
coming. I'm coming to the bunker.
Disappeared now.
Dibs.
Oh, I see people out front of the bunker. They're literally
Oh
out
shit!
front.
I got no
so
weapon.
We're gonna get caught our pants down if we wait.
Alright.
Forget that.
Do they even
I'm
have
gonna look
select
in this
fires in
house.
this
Yeah.
mode? I haven't seen a select
Yeah, I
fire
have.
yet. Like since we've been playing, I haven't found one.
You don't have a gun, Zero?
Oh
Here, do you
shit!
want this?
They're right here.
No. Yeah, I'll take anything. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Fire getting shot at.
We're coming. We're coming.
Get the bamboozling. Give him my grenade.
Yeah, what? There's like somebody frozen on the zip line or going across the river on my screen.
Got
Nice.
that. Bang.
There was two more. There was 3 people out here.
The
ran
other
away. Oh,
one
right here.
ran inside.
This
Okay.
dude- this
Okay,
dude's
yeah, I
glitching
saw
like a
that dude.
motherfucker. He, has, like,
He must have been the one that was like,
fucking.
yeah,
see the
freezing on
goofy-ass
the.
dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's some sort of cheat.
Oh, behind us, behind us. Nice, I'm down.
Got it. Got it.
Down. Now we can.
Good shit.
Okay, I'll see you guys later.
Man, I ran out of
I'm doing an
bullets.
extended teabag mix on this glitchy motherfucker. Oh yeah.
It's like you're glitching your balls in his mouth.
I saw 0 heavy bullets. You saw that too, right? That one.
Yeah, it was fucking.
Yeah, it looked like he
whooping,
was when I was running over.
Like
It looked like he was
crazy.
frozen on the zip line.
Optics here. Close range.
Yeah. Ever since I seen him, here's a bunch of shit. What else? There's a use site. Yes.
Here's
There's a
35
stock box.
heavy
Somebody
for
wants
you.
it? I have 0 heavy. My gun.
There's
Okay,
35.
there we go. All right. At least I can fill my.
I'm
clip.
double heavy, so I
Right here. I'll
can't
take
spare too
this.
much. There's
I'm gonna
a
switch-
lot clip.
Shield cells. You guys on these?
I'm gonna
shield
switch
cells?
my heavy for this Havoc.
There's 2 syringes.
Ah, thank you. I'm super low in heals. I have 1
I
syringe
got
left
4
after
syringes
this.
and
I do have 8 shield cells, so I'll have 6 left after that.
Just gotta patch myself up. Hang on.
Oh, you got a Phoenix? Oh, man. I should have just given you those syringes
yeah.
and used the Phoenix. Oh, well.
Where do we need to go? We need to go back
The
toward the
opposite
top
way,
of the hill. Yeah.
Well, the building wasn't searched yet, as far as I know. I think we have
Oh,
time.
yeah,
we
you're
have to
right.
be quick, though. Let's not get caught in the storm again.
Yeah. There's a zip line on it, so.
Optics here.
There's a thing. Stock.
I was trying to mark light ammo.
Scout.
Spitfire here.
Spitfire.
Okay.
Alright, I picked that up. Alright. We're not too far. It's not terrible.
Sweet gear for us.
You want to go
Left,
left or
isn't it?
right? Joe's going left.
Whatever. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, we got hillside shit here. Yeah, I didn't get anything out of that house, so I decided to just leave and
Yeah. Well, all I got was a couple boxes of heavy and some light.
No,
Need
I'm
some
good.
light?
I mean, I'm not mad about it. That's just why I decided to run on ahead.
I feel like
not
you're
mad
mad
about
about it.
It is what it is. I got more heavy for you.
Yeah, next time we see Tristan,
Heavy ammo.
we need to tell him that all we listen to is Dylon, Dylon, and Dylon.
Shaggy. Here. Anybody still need a digital thread or no? Oh, you got that?
I got one.
Heavy zero. Just so I know it's not
Yeah,
there
thank
if I
you.
go down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I needed it. I've only got 100
Yeah.
backup rounds.
Yeah, I left it there for you.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I'm just kidding, Joe did. Here's the blue stabilized.
Mag here. Level 1.
Oh yes, I would definitely need that. I found a shitload of shield cells. I have 12 now. If anybody needs some.
I got 4. I'm good.
Light ammo here. Check out over there.
Oops, that was a
I
mistake.
got 4 and two big med kits.
If I don't find a cool gun soon, I'm gonna run with the scout. Cool light gun, like a 301 or 99.
45 here.
All right.
I haven't been liking the 45 lately. I don't know why. I used to really like it. Oh no, I just maybe it swings too fast, and I'm used to playing with guns that swing slower, so my
Holy
aim
shit.
is off. I don't know. Just something's been off with it with me.
Optics here. Close range. Optics here. Optics here.
Yeah, there's a million threat sites. I
Optics here.
understand because it's
Optics
dark
here.
or whatever, but I meant to mark the light ammo. But
If anybody
Yeah,
sees digital
I
threat,
saw them running
they're
up, and I'm like,
"Yeah, please."
holy shit. That's absurd.
Thank you.
That's heavy ammo.
Let me turn my music down. I just realized it's like super loud. Alright, I'm full now. Oh, what's going on down there? Oh shit, what? I thought I had it on 5. It was on 20. That's in the storm and
Oh, I
shit,
see 'em.
So. Oh, they're
right here,
there!
right here. I broke one of their
Yeah.
broke the robot shields. Hit the other for 34.
Yep.
It's coming. You have to know that shit is unacceptable. The shit they're trying to pull.
Thermite grenade out.
I don't know where they are. I'm just guessing they're in there.
They're
There we
inside.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in this house somewhere. Yeah, I see them back there.
Oh yeah.
126 to caustic.
Gateway traps.
I hit the caustic for 38.
Oh, I hit him with that.
Caustic's down.
So they're both on the
I'm shooting through the robot. I'm
is that
fucking
an
shooting
ultimate?
through the robot.
The other one's on
died.
us. Hit her
I'm
for
stuck in the
90.
corner. Fuck.
Got her.
There's still a robot inside.
Okay, I'm healing.
Oh, there we go.
I'm getting Grim up while he's...
Alright, the storm is coming
Invisible.
now. This is the first or the second one?
Optics here.
I'm not sure.
I feel like I don't have time to loot. Oh, shit. There's other people
scout.
here.
Fuck!
They're literally in here already.
I'm with you, I'm with you.
Third guy
I'm
by
burning
that
somebody.
door.
What? I thought the what? Oh, they ran through the fucking fire. I thought the fire would keep them off.
Ah, God. I was out there fighting 2 of them. I know you guys were too.
That was just bad.
That's
luck.
why I died.
Backpack here. Level 2.
You just got caught with her pants down on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Half dead. Ring coming. Full
Yeah,
squad
that shit
comes
was
in and
rough.
rapes us.
If we had like 20 seconds to loot, we probably would have fucking killed them, but
I didn't even get a shot off. I was like, I hear footsteps. And then I turn around. There was literally somebody right next to me shooting me.
I chased 2 of them outside
I
and
guess I'll just
was
die.
really hurting one, but then they both turned on me and got me together. But
Nothing brings a team together like killing Zero.
yeah,
The ring isn't really complex, but it can be a little complicated. Wait, what did I just say?
I'm not afraid.
man, I'm gonna be caustic a minute and try to give these fuckers some of their own medicine.
Okay, sounds good.
Introducing your champion.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing a painting stream tonight. Because Kim wanted to paint. She wants to paint something. She saw when she was on vacation. She saw a in Disney a Lilo and Stitch dog collar that she almost bought, but it was like $30 or something. And it says like Ohana means family or something.
Did we jump late? Looks like everybody's ahead of us.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But so she wants to like paint that,
I'll land around here.
paint something about that. So she drew a couple little things, and I told her I'd try to make it better looking. But so I was thinking about doing that tonight. But probably won't be doing that now.
Yeah, it's getting late. I'm after a bang over
Where are they
here.
at? Where are they? Where are they? They went that way.
Right over here. Maybe it's a
I see somebody down
barrage.
there.
Got a
There's
robot.
somebody over here too. I hear somebody over there.
Got a garage. Where they at? Where they at, bro? Where they at?
They're running towards me to finish me off.
Oh, she's hurt. She's hurt real bad. Yeah.
That's the last of that. 1 second. We got
Nice.
this.
Now you yell, I got him. You yell.
Interesting sensation.
Or loot, whatever you need to do. Because you don't even have a shield.
We never see a real gun. I have a fucking triple take.
Shield cell here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there's
could
shields in
use
there.
some
There's a
shield cells.
301 in there.
Did we down that robot?
One here.
Yeah, the robot was down.
Yeah, we down. The whole squad's
There's
down.
a box over here. I think this was the robot.
Death box here. R99 here.
Give him my shield to recharge.
Oh wait, actually I'm gonna take that 99. I thought I had a 45. I had a P2020, which is unfucking acceptable.
Spitfire here.
I hear a door open.
Somebody else.
Setting up my decoy.
Somewhere in here.
Frag out.
Two of them.
They're in their sights.
Back behind this truck.
That one's shield. Broke his shield grim. Got the rope.
All the way to
Fast
the
legs
box.
over here.
Nice.
Got it.
Taking shots.
I'm all out of
What do you need?
light.
Here. It's like half of what I got.
Ring's not too far. 45 left.
Where's these other boxes at? Oh yeah, I need something different than fucking triple
Did you pick
tape.
up that 301 I pinged?
No, still nothing.
Optics here. Close
Yeah, I got that, but I still got the triple take as my second gun.
There's a P2020 with hammer point, which is still a tough gun to use, but
I just now found the second 301. So I guess I'm gonna be doing that for now.
is there another vest I can swap? I don't want to use a shield cell for
10
just
seconds.
part of a
Ring's
white.
I have shield
Yeah, I
cells.
got shield cells too. I don't want to use a
Mm.
shield cell for just part of a white vest though.
I haven't seen another vest yet. I picked up one or two after each battle, but
Oh, a loot tech. I'll take this purple vest.
that'll work.
Optics here.
Oh,
Close
well,
range.
I know you don't need it now, but
Backpack here. Level 1.
Oh, I think there's a U site over there.
Let's explore this way. Extended heavy mag here. Level 1. Let's go this way. Optics here. Close range. Heads up. Care
There's a
package
bunch of
coming
light
in.
out. Oh, not a bunch, but there's.
Light ammo here.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna switch out for this hemlock. I'm still in something different though. I finally found the select fire for the first time since I've been playing.
Good
There's
shit.
a U
Close
site
range.
that I thought I saw.
Shield cell here. Wingman here. Optics here. Close range.
I got 8 shield cells. Anybody need
No,
a
I
couple?
got 6.
I got 6.
I got 6 and one big one.
You do,
Can't
Greg?
really carry anymore yet.
Oh, you
no,
got
I'm
6,
okay
okay.
right now. I think so. Yeah.
Extended light mag here. Gotta hop up here. Hammer point.
Oh. I was all like, where's the flyer? I forgot that the ones in the cages.
Just telling everybody where we are.
Oh, extended light
Yeah.
mag? Is that what that was?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, I could use that shit. I didn't even hear it. Probably because that fucking thing was yelling in my ear.
Select fire.
Optics here.
You gotta turn down that little peak.
Optics here. Close range.
Yeah, apparently.
I think my rap name will be Little Pete Pump. That's pretty. That sounds hetero, right?
Sounds pretty intimidating.
Some macho. You know, it's very macho, but you know, I'm down with that. Intimidate.
Yeah. Yeah. So prowler. I could super use me a prowler.
Might be something good this way. Shotgun bolt here. Devotion here. Extended heavy mag here. Level 2.
They pump us up.
Flatline here.
Oh, flatline. Fuck yeah. You want hemlock? I'm dropping it for that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hemlock here.
Not all of us are in the ring. Check your maps.
What? I gave up on
Dropping
that shit.
Shoddy with a purple bolt. Eva with a purple bolt.
A shoddy boomalati you dropping?
Shotty boom malati. I gotta stand up after this match. My butt is hurting. There's a 1 to 2.
Optics here. Close range.
Shit's going down. You guys ready for a party?
Oh yeah, gangsta party.
I hear shit back this way
Yeah,
somewhere.
we're right behind you.
Should probably engage them first because they're closest.
Target's right in front of
Behind this rock or some shit. I see somebody back behind that shit.
Yes. I can't see him, but oh, I do see him right over there.
I guess he moved in. Oh, did one of you guys
No.
just pop off? So
Yeah, I
know?
popped off twice.
Okay.
I don't know if they even knew where I was hitting them from. I mean, I didn't even hit them, but
Oh, they're right there. Right in front of the fire.
all right.
Star out. 1 minute until the vehicle firing.
Broke the shield
Yeah, I
on
broke the
that
shield on the
rock.
left one. They got me with the gas. I'm throwing Bernie sticks.
Look the soul on that caustic.
Got another one. I think there's one still up somewhere.
Oh, behind us.
This guy might have a.
Behind us.
Where is
we
he?
don't.
Where is he?
Oh yeah.
Behind
Oh,
us?
no, don't
'Em on
Okay.
gas.
30 seconds left.
hit him for 36 or something.
Sending out my decoy.
He's dead.
Back here. There we go.
There's the last one. Nice
I'll
one.
Good
take my Bernie stick
shit.
back. Motherfucker.
In your armpit.
Yeah, loot the far ones first, cause the storm is a coming. It's a brewing, and it's a coming.
Syringe here.
80 heavy.
Backpack, body shield here. Level 3.
192.
Here.
Yeah, I think I need
Light.
some heavy.
Here.
Oh, I picked that. How did I pick up an empty thing? Oh, Joe, you swapped it out first. Oh no, I'm just not full.
Charging shield.
So I was seeing blue vest, and it was like blue vest has more stuff. And I was like, fuck.
There's a
That doesn't
purple
make
here.
no sense. I
Purple
just
here.
got
Purple
it.
backpack.
Level 3.
Oh, thanks.
Backpack here.
I'm getting it.
Level 3. Optics here.
Oh,
Syringe
I got a purple
backpack.
backpack.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Yeah, go
box
for it.
in this corner.
Care package coming in.
Shit.
There's a blue lot mag too in there.
Catching myself up.
I grabbed all the heals I could to grab some. I have 17 syringes and 18 little shield cells. Do you have anybody have any big shield
Yeah.
cells? I have 0.
Yeah, I got some.
I got
Alright.
0. I got 10 littles.
Let's go
though.
somewhere. I picked up all this extra stuff I don't need. I need throwables, what I need. I just picked it
There's
up.
only
just so
3
we
other
have it.
squads, dudes.
Alright.
Here, double tap.
Thank you. Throwables. Anybody have extra throwables? I got 1 Bernie stick.
Alright.
That's it.
2
I'll
Bernie
give you,
sticks
like,
and
a,
2 grenades. Oh,
frag.
and I gotta,
I'll take anything.
Here.
Just like to have a
I
couple.
really only use the
Okay.
Bernie sticks anyway.
Thank you.
Are we ready to win this, fellas?
Oh yeah.
It's too much different
I'm
stuff. You want
kinda
that Arc
wanting
Star
to-
Zero?
Sure, thanks. Kind of wanting
We
to
got like one
let
of
'em-
2 things, so I only have. We got 3 spaces, but only 4
Level
things
3.
full of shit.
Throw stabilizer here. Level 1.
kind of want to let one of the other squads pop it
Yeah.
off though.
Oh,
feel like if we run in
hell
there-
yeah. We
We'll
should
get
not let them
3P'd.
see us if we can.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It was boring. Do you want to go try to find them?
Well, shit. I mean, when you look at that circle, it's still kind of big.
Everybody's
it's got
just
the whole
hiding now.
bunker. Yeah, but I mean, they won't be hiding in a minute here. I feel like somebody's might be outside the circle,
Alright,
you know, and like.
Let's wait till the next circle closes. Let's see that.
Well, where are you thinking of moving to?
He just wants to run
Just
around in
I don't
between.
know. No. I wanna strategically hunt them.
But without a plan and just running normal.
Well, plenty to run around. People shoot you, you know they're there, you murder them all. That's the plan.
Warning. Ring closing. Already inside.
Attention. Delivering care package.
I bet that care package has some sweet gear for us.
About the only cover left is the buildings we're in, the bunker, and those two little half build, or I don't even know if that's a building. I guess that's a bridge over there to the north of the bunker.
To the north of the bunker. Oh, that little thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's that little fucking
You guys see
two-level
anybody?
thing with the
No.
ramps up to it.
Is that a game package? Yeah, game care package just came in.
Countdown.
Yeah. See if the light goes off on it. Oh, it's on top of the fucking building. I don't know. I mean, I don't
I
care
just
to
heard a
move.
gunshot
Where
at
do you
the
want to move
bunker.
to, though?
Popping off at bunker.
You want to start heading that way?
Sure, sure. Stealth mode.
I'm hearing footsteps. It's you running.
I'm hearing a couple shots by bunker.
I think I might be hearing something to the right. Maybe it's you guys. Let me just double check this shit real quick.
We're on your left. We're on your left.
Yeah, I mean now you are, but yeah. I don't even see anybody in the building. Alright, let's go get it.
All right.
Well, we might as well get this too.
Why is it so dark? It's like it was burned.
Shit. Ooh, master.
Is it like black for
Oh,
everybody
yeah,
else?
that's crazy.
Yeah,
like
that's
jet
what I was
black,
wondering.
yeah.
It's like painted like void black.
Yeah. Void
They might have
black.
just been making
That's
noises
right.
to draw people in. Because nobody's being down to drop in.
Maybe. I couldn't even tell if it was
Yeah. I can hear the
I kinda-
footsteps. They're in there.
in the
Okay,
bunker
it was a
or
trap.
outside.
It was a trap. They were just making noise,
Okay.
hoping people would run in. It's probably called. I seen somebody over here.
Hey, over there.
Yep. There's at least two over there.
Alright, I'm going over the wall.
Okay, I'm running
right
to.
there. You see them?
Oh, I see him. I see him.
Alright,
Oh,
fuck
yeah, I
that.
see
Let's
them.
go
Have
get some
a,
cover.
Yeah, we're
kind of
in
a bad
between the
spot
two,
between
yeah,
the
let's-
two groups right here.
Yeah.
I'm hooking around to the left.
Yeah, I hear more footsteps from the bunkerage.
I mean, we can go fight the other people, but we gotta run across the field to do it.
Hostile over there.
They gotta see us.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Expect the bunker to come out. Oh, he downed me, but I almost broke his arm shield. He threw his ultimate.
I broke
Almost
one guy's
dead.
shield.
That ultimate's gonna kill us.
I got down by his dumb God
Damn,
damn,
they
there's
wiped
fucking
us with
shit
that
gas
on us.
everywhere. Yeah, that was instant death. As soon as I ran up, gas in the face, and I got shot. I almost died. And their ultimate, I don't know how it dropped so quick.
Yeah, I noticed that sometimes. It seems almost.
Maybe they threw it already. Early.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a
Yeah, he
glitch
threw
or
while we
if
were running
it
up.
just doesn't
Like,
let you
almost
know
right
in
after
time.
I got dropped. I did say
Okay.
something that he threw his ultimate. Almost right after he downed me.
I saw when it was, but it dropped like instantly. There was no, it felt like, so I was doing my ultimate escape, and I couldn't even get away. I was just dropped immediately.
They did buff his thing, so it does more damage. I do know that. I don't know if they
But it was a
Increased the-
speed thing. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right
drop rate or something.
this time.
We have no choice but to win.
This is your champion.
My shield, my life.
I'm the jump master. This time.
I don't consider death cruel, but life.
No matter what you run, just how you use it.
Oh, I found a new anime today
Sure you didn't just make it out of basic training?
that is pretty sweet. It's drawn like the actual animations are fucking amazing. It's
Let's land here. Never mind.
it's called Fire Force, and it's like in a world where spontaneous human combustion happens all the time.
Dropping in. Hang on.
Spontaneous
where
human
what?
combustion happens all the time. But when you combust, you don't just like catch fire and die. You catch fire and you're being burned alive. So then you're like a mindless corpse kind of thing. And you like have like fire coming out of you, so you're causing all this destruction and stuff. It's pretty sweet, and the animation, like I said, is fucking amazing. And but so there's like special firefighters who are like sent out to fight these things, and like they have none with them. There's like one thing, but then like some of them have like these abilities who are like first, second, and third generation pyrokinetics. But it's I'm not crazy about the
Light mag here. Level 1.
like religious tone of it, but they pray to a god called Soul, and it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. SOL.
Yeah.
Like the sun.
Shit out of luck.
Yeah, shit out of luck.
Everybody's got guns. Nah, fuck me. Okay.
Where was what?
No, I said
didn't think
everybody
anything.
has guns.
You don't have a gun?
Oh, yeah, I got a gun. Oh shit! This bitch is just trying to hide on us and shit. Oh shit! No.
Mid-range.
You
No,
don't have
I
a
was
gun,
asking
Jeff?
if everybody had guns. Yeah.
Yeah, we got guns.
Because I was trying to find someone to give this 99 to, but nobody was answering, so I threw it in this toxic wasteland.
I mean, if you don't want it, I'll take it.
How did this freaking dude die? He must just left the game, I guess.
1 minute. Ring's pretty close.
Yeah, that dragon, he just gave up, bro.
Oh, it was a dragon.
Like,
My
I'm
bad.
out. I am not playing anymore, man. And then he was just dead.
It says fix
Oh,
slashers
there's no
items.
zip line.
45
But that's because
seconds.
he's
Rings
the
close.
I ran
dude that
over here,
died
the
and the
zip line was
dragon.
gone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it puts names of people
On your
that
friends,
were on your friends list or something like that.
Oh.
I do need bullets. I only have 46 heavy and 70 light.
I can give you a box of heavy.
Sweet, thank you. I'm trying to main this flatline, but I can't afford to. These paltry bullet amounts. Thank you.
No shit.
Extended light mag
40
here.
rounds.
Level 2. 10 seconds. The ring's close.
Optics here. Close range.
Somebody grab that blue bag I pinged in that first building.
No. I didn't even see that.
No, I got a white one.
Heavy ammo here.
No, neither of you got it. Oh shit.
Yeah, I didn't even hear it, or I didn't notice it when it went off.
Yeah,
I
no,
must
I
have been
didn't see
looking
it
at
at
something
all.
else.
Back in the where we landed.
Oh, fight going down over here, guys.
Yeah.
Airstrike just went down. Yes.
Heavy ammo here.
Want to get in on
Sure,
this?
let me pop this. I got a thing
yeah,
over
let me
here. I
get
gotta
these
kill.
ammos and hopefully optics or something.
Never mind. Sorry. Got that care package.
Shotgun bolt here. Level 3.
Then after this, I'm down with just murdering for loot.
Optics here. Optics here.
Find any regular optics?
No.
Or no.
And your girl's a pedophile because she feels the boy.
This way.
That's funny. Oh shit. Oh hey guys, there's still
Alright,
somebody
where's
over
this
here.
fight
If you
at?
guys ever
Alright, let's
get
go
done
get
playing
him.
dominoes or
Alright,
what the fuck ever.
Domino.
There's
dumbass
I saw
flatline and no optics.
somewhere over in here there was
Unreal.
oh there's fire going down over there.
Right, yeah, they're fighting.
I can use a choke if we see it
I need optics.
for my triple take.
Shotgun choke. There's syringes right
Dude,
there.
there was a choke.
Yeah, somebody took it. It was in a
Yeah, I
it
feel
was in a
like I've seen
box.
chokes.
No, there was
I
another
didn't
choke.
take it.
There was a choke on a
Oh.
balcony too, but
Yeah, I didn't see that.
too late.
There's a choke in a box that I was trying to get. Somebody took it.
Somebody's back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I snatched that. I'm not ashamed. I should have pinged that other choke.
People at the end of this zip line. Where's the other guy? I feel like somebody was over here somewhere.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I see them.
Yeah, I see him. I see him.
It's a
Alright,
full
you wanna
squad,
jump on
and there's
them
a
people?
ship coming back.
Yeah, okay.
Before they see us.
Oh, it's a flyer. It looks like a ship.
All right.
Might be something good this way.
Relax, Sam. It's a game, buddy. Oh, that's my jacket. Come on. You really bark on my jacket.
Throwing thermite grenade.
Damn it. Oh, I can't, I'm stuck
Bomb
on this
these
fucking
bitches.
wall.
Bomb them.
Thermite grenade.
Firing. Reloading.
They're all getting burnt to a crisp. They
Yeah,
ran
that's
this way,
all
I
I'm
think, all of them. We got Sam. Stop it. Go
Oh,
away.
shit.
Go away. Go away.
Shit.
Stop it.
I'm healing. I almost got
I'm
killed.
getting lit up by these bitches.
Yeah, there's another squad over here to our right.
Joe, somebody's right by Joe. That's shooting at me.
Yeah, I should have killed him, but
Yeah, I hear one running up on me. Got the one running up on me.
I'm down.
Fuck.
fucking know I was there.
Fuck, I broke that one's shield.
Recharging my shields.
Yeah,
How'd we
we're
end up
surrounded.
fighting different squads? What happened?
Healing up. Eyes are open though.
I don't know.
Chasing these people on the left.
I think.
Right, and
I
then
think
somebody was shooting.
I don't
Somebody
know,
was
Joe,
shooting
did you
from
get
his
a
building,
axe
so
or
I went to
something?
this building to stop him from sniping.
Yeah, and I think I think it's 3 squads to be honest, because
Fucking dog was
downed
jumping
one.
on my controller the whole time during that battle.
he like smacked you in the face and
man.
yanked your controller away and like, let me play that.
Look, I'll show
bitch."
you how to shoot these motherfuckers.
Arf, arf, arf.
Yeah, dogs are the worst.
Was he really jumping up in your face?
Yeah.
On the controller.
At first he's like barking at my jacket sitting on a chair. And then he just kept like getting on my face, trying to lick my face, trying to like, jump up and put his paws on my controller.
It's attention time. Suck a majunka.
Yeah. I demand attention now. I don't care what you're doing. Just pause the game and pet me. But I can't pause it, Sam. I don't give a shit.
Sounds like Sam's abusive.
He really is. Did I ever show you the cigarette things he did to my
Yeah,
arm?
one time.
You know, I don't take myself too seriously. I don't take myself anywhere, really. I need to get out more.
It's a fine line. Avoid death as closely as possible.
This is your champion.
Good old market. Remember that?
Oh yeah, a little
Follow the
marketplace.
leader. That's me. Or don't. I mean, whatever. As long as we win.
Back
Back
hole.
hole's the fun hole.
The AW.
Yeah.
Root beer hole. Extra suds.
Grim's like, hey, you know that girl that we both know? Remember the time that you told me that she did ass to mouth? And I'm like, no, what? I definitely don't know what you're talking about. He's like, nah, no, remember, like, that girl that goes by this name? You're like, yeah, man, she like, let me put it in her butt. And I was like, nope, definitely never said that.
I don't remember mentioning
No.
ass to mouth. Maybe just you mentioned.
No, but you like said her name, and I'm like, no, like I'm streaming, like you're like, oh, okay, and then like,
Yeah, I always forget.
I was, and then like,
Wait, was
no,
she watching
no, but
the
I streamed
stream?
this to my Facebook, so like she
Yeah,
she
was
could
here
watch it at
listening.
any time.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Well, none of us talk to her
ATM.
anymore, so
R99 here.
what do you got to worry about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could use that.
Time to make a
DL.
withdrawal,
I don't ever pull up.
Mhm.
and then a deposit.
I need a bag and a helmet. Found a bag. Never mind. I just need a helmet.
I think I see a helmet here.
Energy
Yeah.
My man, pots and pans.
Alright, you want to move out this way? Check some of that
Shower,
shit out.
shower. Oh, actually, I can put that on my shotgun.
Optics
Never
here.
mind.
Close range.
Forgot I had 2 guns.
On
that
what?
could take
Shotgun?
The digital threats.
You can use select fire. I'm still unable to make a Prowler select fire this game. Or, well, tonight. This whole night, I mean.
I think I've had it twice.
Well, you found one.
I've had Prowlers, and I found one select fire. In the game, I found one
Oh,
select fire, I
but you
found
didn't
another
have
one.
both.
But I didn't find a Prowler. Yeah, I haven't fucking been able to put it together this whole night.
Lame. I haven't seen a lot of prowlers. I don't feel like in this tonight.
I've been finding mad Prowlers. I'm actually getting rid of my Prowler for a
Gotta hop up here. Hammer point.
flatline.
Optics
I don't. I doubt it's gonna happen. I don't have faith anymore, man.
Gotta have faith in yourself. Forget having faith in other things.
I'll never be the cool guy I want to be.
Heavy ammo here.
So, and you're looking for
Fire,
that?
too.
You said, or what?
Prowler SMG here.
You were looking for that, or you're looking for a select fire?
Prowler?
Yeah.
I'm looking for a select fire. At one point, I had 2 Prowlers this game.
Light ammo here.
Oh yeah, I could use light ammo.
I'll take that.
I don't even have a full stack. I don't know. Usually I
I'll
find
drop
mad
some
light
more.
ammo.
I'm dropping 60 for you right next to that shit.
Optics here. Optics here.
There's 2 syringes up here if somebody wants it.
I'm okay. I got 6.
At the top where I was just at, I missed it when I pinged it.
Optics here. Close range. Hemlock here.
Oh. You could use the.
I'm running over toward Joe.
Optics.
Wait,
that
where
what
is this heavy ammo or light ammo? you
Did
put
someone
in?
dibs
Oh,
the
it's in
optics?
here, I guess.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Delivering care package.
Check it out, care package coming in. Go bamboozle.
Heavy
Yeah,
ammo.
there's
here.
always heavy ammo. I probably should just run. I don't have a lot of energy. I should probably just pick up and run a heavy gun. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm going heavy. I'm
That's what I'm
maxed
gonna do.
out.
No one's taking that hemlock that was on top of this building, right?
Nah, I got a flat line.
I got a hemlock.
I really only prefer fully auto shit.
Heavy ammo here.
Where?
R301 here.
Bernie stick.
Thermite grenade here. Sending out my decoy.
I could use one of them. I love me some Bernie sticks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, another 301. Ah, do I not even have room for medkit? What the fuck am I full of, bro?
There's a new kill leader.
Here's 4 shield cells.
You ask me.
New kill leader. Watch for them.
I'm stacked. I'm out of room.
What bag do I have? Oh, just a regular bag. That's why I can't fit anything.
Shit is not working.
Level 3. Thanks.
Hey, you know what? I don't need 8 small ones if I have a big one. So let me do that. Oh, never mind. All right, Grimbo, I'm on your 6-0.
Yeah, I'm probably
I'm
gonna
on
get a fight
yours.
soon, so running right into the circle. I hear some birds
Okay.
screaming. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the
Yeah,
one
someone
back
shooting
here?
at him.
I
Yep.
heard one in front of us and behind
There's
us.
the
Let's
bird.
explore this way.
Someone was shooting at it. I know, it's still flying in circles.
People are shooting
No
behind
one
us
shot
now,
it.
too.
It's not flying away. It's just still flying in circles.
Heads up, got one here.
There's somebody up there, and there's somebody at the
Alright.
cages
Let's fall back 0.
over there. Well, who do you
There,
want to
there
fight
was nobody
first?
over there that I saw. The bird was just flying in circles.
Yeah, well, there's definitely people here. You can see them
Oh,
right
the
there.
second ship's coming in. And it's
And the other
landing.
people are by that needle over there, where those birds are.
I can't see those
hear
guys
people. I hear
yet, but I'm okay.
I think.
Yep.
Yes.
Someone's aiming at me.
Pretty sure.
In this little building.
Yeah. Broke a robot shield. I'm down. Good shit. There's a robot.
Yeah,
Did he
I
die?
just killed him.
Or did you shoot him?
He did, but
Robot's back here.
oh yeah, dude. Oh no. Okay, yeah. Forget my mark.
Robot
Forget
right
my
here.
mark.
Broke the shield.
Reloading.
Good shit.
Last one. Nice work.
Warrior
But there's
style.
other people around here, so
Yeah, let's
definitely
get
take
up and
cover
get healed.
while you're
Yep, you're wonderful. Thank you.
Getting cover 0.
I'm right here. I'm down. I'm right here.
Vest out of there. All right,
Okay.
I just gotta get a vest. Oh, I don't have as cool of a vest. That's gay.
This won't hurt. Hold on.
I just put a empty blue one in that thing. But
Well, I have an empty balloon on my back. I was hoping to not have to shield, waste shield batteries and shit.
Well, come get this. Come get this Phoenix that you just dropped. I've got one. I'm doing.
Arcs.
Okay.
Here,
Grenade
Grim.
here.
I suggest we do some research in this area.
Where's the Phoenix? Oh, right
Optics
here.
here. Close range. Healing up. Eyes are open though.
I just gotta patch myself up. Hang on.
So did everybody just have white
One-
vests?
yeah,
Besides
one
one
out
out
of
of
blue.
blue?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Where's
There's a box over
the
here
third
by me.
box?
Alright,
Oh,
lead on
right.
here. Optics here.
Yeah.
Frag Arcstar here.
Dude, I haven't found even a white heavy mag this whole fucking... Oh, there it is, okay.
There should be one. I think I saw
I got a
one.
white one, I got a white one. 4 other squads, wow, it went from 10 to 4.
But
Syringe
this
here.
squad was
Shield
like
cell here.
facing somebody else. Oh, let's go
Oh
on the
yeah, the
ship.
ship came. Forgot about the ship.
There was two squads like
Heads up.
popping off
Package
shots at
coming
each
in.
other.
Yeah, they might be right over this wall.
Oh
So.
my god,
Yep.
get away from Sam. Go down.
Someone's aiming at me.
Not sure. Think there's a
No,
sniper
see
there,
him?
yeah.
The
Alright.
ghosts are talking at me.
Ship, there you go, there's a blue thing.
Oh yeah.
Heavy mag. I don't know, yeah, so somebody's... I think that's the group that was by, the rocks. Yep, they're still there. Yeah, I literally, when I went to ping them, they were still exactly where
Oh
they
yeah,
were
I
last
see.
time.
I hit one of them for a little. Maybe 40 or something.
Yeah, there's two
Shit, there's a
snipers
charge
there.
rifle and a golden
Fuck that, I'm not trying to have a snipe off. Here's the thing. Yes, I'm gonna get that thing. And they gotta hop off of there.
There's
with the
two
next
purple
door.
clips up here.
So I
There's a
say we
light
just-
and a heavy purple clip up here.
Oh shit.
I broke
Yeah,
the
I
shield
need-
of one of
I
those
need to have it.
snipers.
Zero, do you need this light?
But yeah,
No, you don't.
you're right.
Okay.
We shouldn't stop. No, I don't need light.
Yeah, we'll just draw other people in. They'll just drop back.
Yeah,
and
you're
heal
right,
up.
you're right.
It'll just be a bad situation for us in the long run, I feel like. But
Hopefully somebody will go
you
attack
can
them.
jump off and catch this rope and just glide right in from the top.
All right. Here I come.
Popping off somewhere around here.
I need to
Let's
get
check
my
that shit
drink.
out.
I'm super thirsty.
I think I'm seeing people over there. I'm not sure. I'll just... Bird.
I'm
Only
looking with a
Bluebird.
4X and I don't see him. I see the little light that kind of looks like a dude, but
And it's probably up
I don't-
through there. Do you want to just run up to them? Oh, is the circle moving right now? No. So we have 55 seconds. We can go in and be a third party if we get
Alright.
there soon enough.
I think it's coming from our right.
Something good there.
But
It's
I don't know.
in here. I think
All right,
it sounds
I'm,
like
I'm
it's
coming,
echoing.
but we're a little behind
Yeah.
you, dude. We're 50 yards back.
Shit, I should have set a portal.
Oh shit!
Sending out my decoy.
Got that one?
We got 30 seconds left. Recharging shields.
Shit. Alright,
There's a new kill leader. Just another
nice clutch pull
Yeah,
through.
where'd it go? Zero.
Hell yeah.
Alright,
Yeah, I hear footsteps.
get
Oh,
up
there's
there.
fucking
Throwing
boxes.
through my grenade. Throwing through my grenade. You got bamboozled. Look at you. There's one.
Somebody's back here.
Shots fired. And they're hitting me.
Coming.
Right there.
Like 140 on them.
Shit, the fire
Sorry.
fucking blocked my view.
I downed them, burned them.
No,
I'm burning the other
you
one
couldn't
too.
help it, I'm just saying it. Hell yeah. I'm
Where
trying
are
to
they?
get
Where are
over.
they?
Alright, the circle's gonna burn him.
We're after one. We got it.
Turn them
Yeah.
to a big ass box. Oh, the storm's coming down.
Oh,
Yeah, we need to go.
shit,
This is round
no,
3.
No.
Oh shit! Stay out of the storm. Stay out of the storm no matter what. There's a
I'm
bouncy
trying,
thing here.
I'm trying. Oh fuck, I'm raped in the butthole. Okay.
Ooh, that was a little too
No,
close
no,
to
no,
comfort, huh?
no, mother.
One other squad.
Are you
It's
kidding
got
me?
those
Safety
stoppers.
now, though. Oh, Joe. What do you do?
We
You
can
didn't
walk
come
around.
to
Let's
get-
walk around.
Get
And,
caught in the loot
No.
trap.
Fuck.
let's see if we can walk around. And I think we can walk around and get.
Joe's like, there's too
Nah,
much good
that's-
stuff in these boxes. I can't not loot them. We'll get you. Let me
Oh,
see.
you.
I have 6.
Oh, I got
regular
no
Bernie 6.
fucking.
You're a robot, right? Oh no, you're not.
No, I'm
robot.
not.
Shit.
I can't fucking do it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
There's no
Here,
revive
about it.
spot
See if I
either.
can.
There's
Yeah,
no
any
revive
different
spot. You can't.
syringes? Oh, there's only one
I
other
got-
squad. There's one other
Yeah,
squad.
we can't do it
Let's just
anyway.
go
We'd get burnt to
Hunt
death.
this last squad and do it for Joe.
All right, I'm healing. I'm healing. I bet it's those snipers.
Find them. Alright, you ready? Do you have any big shield cells?
Nope. I got
Oh, I just
two
heard a care
syringes,
package.
one little.
I think it landed over there somewhere and it's not on the map. Alright, fuck it. Let's
Alright,
go.
do
You
you-
ready? Let's stay close and
Do you think we'll get some
as
high
soon as we
ground
see
here?
him engage. I don't know. As long as I'm somewhere with coverage.
Well, yeah, that might be just as good.
Oh, and ultimate accelerant. If I could find one of those.
I don't have
come
one. I
in
just
handy
looked.
for a clutch. Yeah, I'm just saying if we see one.
Yeah, I was just checking. I mean, I got a gas alt. Oh, here they are, dude. They're all in the cave, in the fucking cave.
Oh, you see him engage?
Yep. I'm gas alting them. Two of them are over there.
Pop off some shots. Distract him.
I broke a shield.
Oh, I
broke
got
their
one.
shields.
There's one right here. That's probably the last person. No, yeah, last person on lifeline.
God, there's two of them. There wasn't the last person. There were two of them.
Who else? I could only see
A robot.
One was Pearl in there. There's a robot still.
Yeah. I know you couldn't see him. I'm just saying there was. I was fighting the
Oh,
robot while you were fighting the lifeline or whatever. I was damn close. That was in that last battle. I did 64, 87, 97, 107, 110, 146, 169, 179, 89, 97, 297. I did over 300 damage in the last battle. So.
Yeah, I
It
thought
was
I was
going
only
down.
fighting the fast guy, but looking at the recap, 38 dash, 14 circ, 19 dash, 133 circ. So I was getting shot inside by somebody else. That's probably the robot. I didn't even know was there.
Yeah, I got one more in me, guys, and I'm getting kind of tired here. I've been up for quite a while.
Yeah,
You still there, Joe?
I got booted.
No,
We lost you
you're not,
again.
you're not in our party.
Yeah, you can send me an invite. I got
Send you an
booted to
invite.
the home, to the title screen.
No, it's you couldn't
No,
watch
it's still the
ending.
ending. It just happened when I was actually.
Oh.
Hey, that's pretty good though. We almost won and it's on the special mode.
Yeah, you guys send me an invite.
Oh yeah, we need a special mode win. I thought Zero did. Zero, I got it.
I've invited you twice.
No,
and you
I
haven't
just
got either
got
of them.
friends there.
Stop pretending to send invites, Zero.
No.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
You got mine?
It's addictive.
Oh,
Well,
no,
shit,
I
I
got
just got
server shutting
booted.
down. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's
All
what
three
I'd
of us
be
got
getting.
the boot. Yeah, here we go. Yep, I'm too late.
All right. Yeah, we'll take mechanics invite. There we go. Yo, Grim, you in here?
Yeah, I'm in here. Oh, I'm not ready? What? What?
Prepared and ready.
I accept
I
the challenge.
accept the challenge.
Today will be one of those
So
experiences.
I like don't understand shading and it bothers the shit out of me. Like, I can draw shading.
Don't understand what?
Like, yeah,
Oh,
I can
shading.
draw what I see on the screen, but like to shade in things, it just doesn't work. I don't know.
Didn't you ever do
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty
shading in
challenging.
art class in high school with like pencils
No.
and stuff? Well,
I can do, like, a
basically,
sphere
they just have
or a
you
cube or something, but-
practice doing, just practice going from like heavy to lighter and doing different shades and blending it. And then if you rub it with your finger or something, you can also help blend it some more. That was a trick I learned in art class.
Oh, that's neat.
It works with painting too, as you showed me before. Zero, you're not missing. You flying into the ocean?
Yeah, going airport.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time dropping here.
Submarine, baby.
Submarine Bay. Yeah, good luck climbing up when the submarine pulls in here. I'm gonna go right for the ship, I guess.
OP, relax.
No gun. Super cool. Oh, you guys didn't land here. Oh,
Shit.
okay. See anybody yet? Ooh, flatline here. Fuck yeah.
Nah, you
Oh,
got it.
Joe wants it. Okay.
I got a RE45, so I can live without it.
You want a
Sure.
wingman? And there's also an Eva here, and I have a bolt for it, if you want it.
Watch out for the new kill leader.
And the triple
No, I'll
take.
take,
Want
I'll take
energy
the
ammo?
wingman.
There's,
Here.
Shotgun bolt here.
oh, you brought it with you. Oh, okay.
Figured you had the wingman.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
position.
Thank you.
Dibs.
People over there where Grim landed.
Making contact with
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm counting.
Where I was? Oh, yeah, I see them now. It's 70 to that robot, dude.
Did
Did
35 to
36
the
to him?
caustic. Pro caustic shield. Oh, I'm about to go down now.
reloading.
I don't have any heals.
Broke that dude's shield, broke Gibraltar's shield.
Get bamboozling.
Got robot down.
Nice.
Got Gibraltar
Somebody's
down.
right there behind the ship, the caustic.
Alright.
This is the last one. We got this. Oh, he's zipping.
Nice.
Oh,
Sucks it went
nice.
into the water,
Don't
but
let him get away.
I need
Yeah.
a shield.
Well, the box will still pop up, I think.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know. I remember it
don't know.
not
I had like
happening.
4 bullets.
Oh, there's the other
Up
box over
Yay.
here. Oh, somebody's grenading us.
Let's go this way.
Oh shit, we're getting assaulted.
1 minute.
Shit. Alright,
Shit.
well,
SMG here.
I'm low on ammo, but I got enough for.
Oh, here.
Oh my
one or
god,
two
give me
dudes
bullets.
spot us.
Oh,
Hit him
damn
for
it.
36.
Alright, I'm zipping across. I'm almost dead.
I broke that dude's shield.
Dead.
One of
All
them.
right, let me heal up, but I'm coming, Zero.
Myself.
Heard another.
I have a couple heals. Oh, the box is just gone.
Got one down.
Damn, Zero's going fucking beast mode.
Alright. You have a med kit?
Yeah, I just picked it up,
down?
but yeah, it's over here. I can... Oh, the whole squad's down. They're all dead.
Now we can loot them.
Oh, you got them all? Oh, sweet. So nothing ever popped up over here. I thought when somebody dies on the zip line, the box still pops up. Apparently not.
I think it does if,
10 seconds to the ring.
like, if they're on your same
Oh, was that
squad
a
and you're
301?
still alive. I don't know. There's stuff in there though.
I put a digital threat in that box behind us.
Shotgun bolt here.
Oh shit, we gotta go.
Heads up. The ring's moving.
Shit.
Recharging my shield.
I am repairing myself.
Is that 301 still there? Or is it gone?
I took that 301 and I put an alternator there. There's cool hay all over it, so it looks like a scarecrow. And that
Hey, guys,
itself will
let's-
just scare the shit out of people.
Let's loot the other side of this shit. We got 220 till the ring closes, and
Well,
we're not far at all.
Till the ring, yeah, I guess we're not super far.
And I can
Alright.
set a
I
portal.
don't know. Yeah, and I've got a zip. He's got a portal.
Looks like it was looted.
Oh, it's been looted. I
There's
guess
another
that was one of those
flatline.
guys.
Somebody wants that shit.
I got one. I'm coming. I guess. Yeah, I guess it's. I guess that was those kids we killed that looted it.
Where the fuck's this bird at? I'm hearing the goddamn bird. Not seeing one.
I don't see him either.
He's up on top of the.
Oops.
Up there, I think.
Let's go this way.
On top. That's where I thought he was. That's where I remember him being, but I didn't see him. You see
I
him?
don't see him either.
I only have 1x sights.
I heard him.
That's where he sounds like he is too.
Maybe we can't see him from here. Yeah, that's where it sounded like it was coming from.
Whole lot of shit going on over there.
I see
Cool
fire.
stuff's going on over here.
And somebody's
to
being
these.
brought. Oh, the ship's right there.
I guess I can't climb that.
I wonder if people are fighting on the ship.
That's why it sounds so fun. I think they're fighting back. Oh, that's probably Skulltown.
I saw some fire coming
Oh,
from.
yeah, I see it right now.
Well,
It's still
shit.
coming from Skulltown.
Okay. Grim Joe's
Looks
going to the
looted.
ship.
Yeah, so.
Champion out.
Supply
Oh,
ship
that was
here.
actually Havoc and Mist.
Oh, there's shit even closer to us. There's shit very close to us. I think they're on the bones or.
That's
on
in the
this
next
hill.
town, I think.
All right.
Oh, it's,
Got one spotted.
it's going on from up there to down there. Yeah, somebody's up
All
on
right.
this shit here.
Circle.
Oh, you know
circle.
what?
Yeah.
You can
Circle,
climb here.
dude.
Shit.
Let's get to the circle.
Let's go this way.
I'm gonna try to pull a super surprise on this guy.
Okay.
You just got super surprised,
Oh, shit.
bro. I was just super surprised.
I'm
Oh, why'd
super
you guys
surprised.
fall off?
Another one.
Oh, did he fall off?
Shit. Dude's on the bones. Dude's on the bones.
I'm on the bones. Oh, those bones. Ah.
Top of the
Reloading.
bones. Top of the boning to you.
They spotted me. I'm taking shots.
I am repairing.
Faking him out with a decoy. Give him my shield.
Oh, do you have any more shield cells? Oh, somebody's down here. Shit.
Here's 2 cells, Grim. Oh shit.
Yeah, dude's almost dead.
I got him. I got him.
Get him?
Yep.
Give me vested.
Down guy's
Shit.
dead.
Enemy taken out.
Now
Is
there's
that
somebody
everybody?
else.
I'm dead. I'm
Where are
dead.
they? Where
Yeah.
are they? Still on the
On the-
bones?
on the-
Oh no, the
I
wraith right
think
here.
so.
Brother shield.
Reloading.
Yeah, and I did like 62. Oh no!
I'm down.
God damn, these. Oh, you're chasing that girl still. Yeah, somebody else was shooting them down.
My shield. 1 minute. Ring's not far.
I'm behind a rock next to a gold box. I don't think they can shoot at me from the
He's
bones.
on the building here.
And there's still somebody on the fucking bones. God damn.
Dude, you might want to push for the circle. It's going to close in 40. I don't know. I hear a robot. Yeah, I'm about to get eliminated.
Less than 30 seconds.
He's looting. He's looting this box right here.
Patching myself up.
Making contact with enemy.
He's running away. I don't know where he's going.
You're being aimed at. They spotted me. I'm taking shots. Enemy down. 10 seconds. The ring's close. Got our squad mate's banner.
Hostile close. Contact with hostile.
I'm trying to get you.
I'm just pinging him for you. I just wanted to let you know where he was at. I was about to bleed out.
Punching a tunnel.
Oh, do
Yeah.
your rift thing. It's increased.
Yeah.
It stacks.
Yep.
You know that, right? They just changed it. That's another buff. It didn't used to stack.
Really?
Now
I
it
thought
does.
I thought it always stacked. Felt like it always moved you fast.
It always made you a little faster, and now it's 100% of like whatever the extra speed boost from running and speed boost from the other thing.
Really?
So before it was like they nerfed a little bit, but now it's whatever extra you get for running and rift is both stacked on top of each other. You get 100% boost for everything when you do both.
When you say running,
a
you mean
recent
the
fix.
the L button
Portal.
ability plus
If you
portal plus.
when you do the portal, you run a little faster, and when you do the rift, you run a little faster. If
Okay.
you did them both at the same time, it would still make you run a little faster than rifting, but
Patching myself up.
but not the same extra. Like say it was like you get a 10% boost in speed for rifting, 10% boost in speed for portal.
Yeah, I'm inside the
If
next
you did
room.
them both at the same time, it might be like an extra 15%. They didn't give you both extra percentages. They just changed
cool.
it so you get everything. Yeah.
I didn't even know that you could do that at all. That's pretty cool.
Fuck, I was gonna go to this one, but it's too far out of the thing, I think.
Well, how close is it? I don't know. Can you reach
No.
it from the thing? I can't tell. Yeah, that might fuck you
Oh
up. I don't
damn,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, it
What
would
is this? The
definitely kill
third
me.
storm? There's one left. Oh no, there's two left. There's one up to see that other one on the map? You have a minute and 26 to get to that one.
Yeah, that's about
And
the
that's
only
right on the
chance
edge.
you got.
Yeah, there is another one further out, but that's the only real chance to bring us back.
Yeah.
Right there.
My shield.
Yeah.
To the left. Left.
Yeah,
Left.
yeah,
Left. 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 Oh, okay. On the map, it looked all crazy. I couldn't really tell. The mini map. Wow, even this
Oh,
one's like
wait.
half in.
Ain't that a bitch?
Hopefully. Well, this you can loot here. There's a Mozam.
5 until ring close. It's me.
Nice recovery.
Here.
And this one, there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
guns on that.
Go for it. Get your Mozambique.
There's nothing in that other one either. There's a vest. I ran in there to open it.
Shit, I'll take the vest and the fucking yeah.
Patching myself up.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a syringe there? Here.
I got a syringe. Oh, I thought I did. Okay.
Alright, here. I
Damn,
can give
that's
somebody
not a
a
wrench.
gun.
Just gotta patch
Who doesn't
myself
have a
up.
gun?
Hang on.
You can take it, Zio. I got a real sweet
Alright, do you want a
gun already.
301 or the wingman?
Whatever you don't want. Just give me that wingman. I know the 301's a better gun, so
There you
you
go.
deserve it for that sweet
I
performance.
think I heard somebody triple
package
taking at us.
coming
I'm
in.
not sure
All right.
what that noise is.
Oh, yeah, there's gunshots to the right.
Right, let me know if you find the gun also. Alright, it's Scout. Cool.
Oh, yeah, they're
Nice.
over there by the cave.
What is this?
Yeah, they're two squads fighting.
Optics here. Sniper.
Optics here.
Do you have any energy bullets,
No.
Joe?
Here's a flatline.
Body
Ah,
shield here. Level 1.
sweet.
I do have heavy I can give you
I
though.
could use that.
Okay, I'm dropping this devotion. I have a turbocharger on it too, if you want it.
Oh,
any
yeah,
other
I guess
bullets.
odds better.
I just found a vest. Okay, heavy bullets though. I could definitely use some of them bitches.
I've got a. Oh, well, you got some. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I
Joe
got a
says
bunch.
yes, some.
Here.
I have 40. I just found 40.
Hey guys, you guys can split that if you need to.
Ooh, it's raining heavy.
I got enough. I just got a longbow. Go ahead and take
What
it,
about that
bro.
wingman I dropped you?
Cool.
I traded it for a turbocharged devotion.
So you gave up that gold sight, didn't say nothing.
Oh.
You
Oh,
mother.
shit.
There's a bunch more energy for you. You can actually have some energy for your shit.
Where it is?
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I
thanks.
got one of my alternators, so it's not a big deal. I'm just breaking your balls.
That's just
And there's a
on that bitch.
million and a half sights.
Oh, where was that gold sight at? There's a gold sniper sight. Maybe I'll try doing some scout stuff.
Right here.
It's a good sight.
Optics here. Sniper.
Pay attention, gang.
Oh, is that where it was? Oh, I thought it was over here. I mean, it's probably a different one. I don't think I ever went over there.
Yeah, I got a 2 to 4 on my 301.
What is this?
Yeah.
4 to 8?
You can change the settings
4 to 10, I think.
so it moves like a 1x sight.
You ready? Oh, I'm not sure if
and
this
it'll-
headshot will count. Oh.
There's,
Yeah, and
There's a gas trap over here, bro. Gas trap. Kids over here.
Oh,
Kids over here.
headshot.
where are you shooting?
headshot,
Where are you
bitch.
shooting?
Ooh, how you like them shots,
He's
bitch?
shooting to the tower, but there's kids over here on our left, too. I think.
Well, yeah, let them get scared.
no,
Let's
he's
do some close stuff. I like close stuff better.
Oh, we gotta move
All
to the
right,
ring.
yeah, circle's closing. Circle's closing.
Oh, shit.
Zip line. Zip line. Zip line to the tower.
Or at least in
coming.
the circle.
Shit.
He's zipping back.
Somebody there. Oh, I dropped, so we're not going to the tower to get fucked up.
What?
Figure we
Okay.
could do like some sneaky stuff over here. Maybe
Oh, yeah,
climb
I'm
up
being
on the
sniped at
tower.
from the
Oh
tower.
shit! I see the guy on the tower.
Focus.
Somebody just dropped
Alright,
off the
I'm healing
tower.
up.
Near you, Zero.
Okay. Got her.
Reloading.
Great jump.
Got her.
1 minute. Ring's not.
Shit. At the door. At the door. At the door.
Reloading. Down in a minute. 1 second. We got
Cover
this.
us while I get him out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trying to get
Oh,
a
I got
better
a Phoenix
weapon.
kit too. I can drop for you.
I'm like fucking myself up with grenades and shit. Goddamn.
Okay, yeah,
Just
thanks.
let me pop this real quick. There you go.
Only 30 seconds. Repairing.
Popping it, popping it.
My shields are recharged.
I'll throw us a
Damn,
zip.
there's still so many
200
squads.
energy ammo in there.
Oh shit! I never finished this dude.
There's
Here he
200
is.
energy ammo in that box, Zero, if you need it.
I
Okay.
traded for another gun, thank you.
Help me finish this guy as I keep shooting him and shit.
He's finished, he's finished.
I killed an
Got a gold box.
Body shield
Circle's
here.
circle's about to close. Circle's about to
Ah,
close.
blue-
Yeah, get that blue shield. Get that blue shield, brah.
Need to recharge.
And then we gotta go.
I'm picking up heals. There's still syringes in there. Alright,
Yeah,
guys, just drop
Behind me.
down.
Up there.
We
Behind you,
circle.
behind you.
Okay, drop down. Circle.
She's going off the cliff.
Oh, I see him.
Down here.
Where is he?
Yep, yep.
Did he run away?
Right down here. Broke his shield. Behind that rock.
Ah, it's gonna be up here. There's so many people fucking hiding. God damn. There's somebody. Oh, he's falling off. Up.
Whole squad's down.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
See where I pinged?
2 other squads remaining.
Guy up
Kinda,
there?
yeah.
Oh, that guy
Guys,
just melted
yeah.
me.
I'm taking shots.
I should have stayed
Broke
behind the rock.
his
Fuck.
shield. Shit, there's 2 of them.
Let me call this right. If you can let them
reloading.
fight each other, maybe.
Yeah, they're in my
Yeah.
face.
What's up? Can you do a zip away?
Now we can move them.
Only
four
one
squad
left now. Shit. But if you hear anybody, just fucking run.
Recharging shields.
Recharging shields. I am repairing.
I don't see anybody yet.
Bamboozle.
I'm down here.
Oh, where you at, Joe?
Can you
Where you- okay.
slide and grapple to me? Or...
I thought that was you.
Yeah,
I
just keep
fucking
looking around.
got
I
up.
feel like we're gonna win, bro.
Don't worry.
We got
And
this
there's a
one.
gold box
Might
down
just
here
be
too.
one guy we're facing. Yeah, they're
Up here
there's
by me.
some- Oh yeah.
Very
yeah.
nice.
Got him.
Yeah.
Fuck your gold shield, bitch.
Yeah, gold shield don't do you no good.
Was it like a gold knockdown or a gold
A
shirt?
Reaper comes for you.
Yeah, gold body
You are
shield.
the Apex champions.
Good
Very
shit.
nice.
It was another mirage.
There
There can
can
only be
be
one
only one
mirage.
mirage.
and it wasn't him.
Ooh, yeah.
Just
9
dark
kills
in
in your
Kings
faces.
Canyon. It isn't big enough for the both of us.
Hell no. Yeah, we were kicking ass that game.
Yeah.
That was a fucking hectic final battle, dude. Like, I mean, leading up,
Yeah.
the whole, like,
so
5
many people
squads.
everywhere.
But they all fell to the champions. Yeah, guys, I better get off here for tonight. I gotta start winding down here. But
Yeah,
I'll probably be on tomorrow
Yeah.
night.
I should probably get up too. I gotta eat.
Okay,
I gotta work
sounds good, fellas.
Oh shit, you still off to? You
A
got
good
the 4
game.
days
Yeah,
for
weekend,
ending
I'm
Joe?
off for-
win.
I mean, I know you can't play every night, but
Yeah,
if you feel
I'm
like
off. Yeah, Tuesday's my
I'll
next
probably be
day.
here.
Then I gotta be in at 7 a.m. So I will probably be on. I gotta build this
Probably
bookshelf
catch you tomorrow.
tomorrow. I gotta finish it, get it done, paint it, and ready to go. And then other than that, I'm kind of free. So
all right,
Well,
cool. All right,
yeah,
see you guys.
good game. I'll see you,
Adios,
fellas.
so-
Yeah, good game. Let's see.
yeah.
Sweet victory.
Yeah.
Adios.
Later.
Oh shit! It is 2:45 in the morning. I definitely gotta get my ass to bed too. I thought it was not that late. Cool. Isn't that the coolest? See what this chick just posted for sale real quick. Alright. So close delete that one stitch. Pop open on that. Yeah, I wanted to stand up like 3 or 4 games ago because my butt hurt. Guess who didn't do that? Opie. That's alright, bud. That's okay. Opie, I'm telling you it's fine. Put that over there. Opie, I'm telling you, bud, it's fine. So, I want to thank you, everybody, for coming out. Whether it was for 2 minutes, 10 minutes, or you've been here just lurking for hours like lurks, I appreciate it. Whether it was Facebook, Twitch, Mixer, or YouTube, it means a whole lot to me. It means everything that you decided that what I'm doing is cool enough to spend a little bit of time with me. Yeah, nah, it was a good game to end on. I was gonna switch it up and do some other things. Maybe I'll do some. I think I'm gonna be painting tomorrow with the girlfriends. Maybe I'll just stream a little bit of that. But yeah, no, it was a good night, good games. I want to thank, big shout out to Grim for the games, shout out to Zero for the games, and all the engagement I get on the social medias, especially Instagram. It's Mechanic on all socials except Twitter. It's Mechanic G. You can hit me up and follow me on all of that. Also follow Zero Logic Gaming, Logic with a K, on both Instagram and Facebook. We are just a fun little group of like-minded individuals who like games, all kinds of games, from mobile games to PC to all the consoles. And we like having new people join. Facebook group, the whole 9, Discord, all that stuff. So if you're interested, if it sounds like you, get at me on any of the socials or in Discord. It's Mechanic everywhere, basically, or Discord, or Facebook. Yeah, and just let me know. But yeah, thank you for showing up. Everybody that did, I really do appreciate it. To those who didn't show up,